Run it up, run it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Can I Thwipp It returns for another week. Let's kick this theme song. We are back as always. Can I Thwipp It?
Yes.
I do believe we can. I'm gonna start it again, guys, because I had a little volume.
God damn it.
I can never, there's never a perfect take with me.
Surf, Eli surf. Spidey is the best. Norman is the worst. Surf, Eli surf. Make this look like
Chapstick.
Norman is fantastic. Surf, Eli surf. Turning for a look.
Just look.
All these brand new books. Surf, Eli surf. And you know how we do. We love the MCU.
I think I mentioned this last week, and it's that we have to change that so we love all of the U's.
All of the
We're a multiversal loving group of people.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe was such a big thing when we first started this podcast, and
now it's just
fizzled. It's kind of fizzled. Yeah.
Now it just feels normal. It's like those first movies were so good that now you're just like, oh, they did another one. Oh, cool.
Black Widow's coming out. I don't really care about that very much.
I'll watch it when it's on Disney Plus, I guess.
Yeah, we'll watch them all. If we can still go out to the movie theaters together as friends on dates like we used to, then maybe we'll be able to have fun again.
Perhaps.
So, Manus, how's this week been treating you?
It's good, man. Just like, put out a song today, kind of was prepping for like that to come out,
that's right.
Not like too much crazy promotion because we're poor, but, enough for some people to see it. And,
who did the beats on this one, Peter, or did Zach do them?
I think Zach made this beat. It's kind of a joint.
Lame.
It seems like it's a joint effort,
Yeah.
I feel like both Peter and Zach kind of help each other with their beats at this point. It's kind of the three of us that make most of the music. I write the shit. I write the lyrics and melodies, and the two of them really make up the beats and the mixing and the masterings and the.
It's really good to have Peter, our friend, with us here, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know Peter, he's been on and off the podcast. He's been a phone call in. He's been a text away.
We've ambushed him on the phone like a couple times. Yeah,
a couple cold calls for entertainment value, and he always delivers.
Usually a great greeting happens. Some sort of excitement.
He changed from just Peter, my friend, Manus's friend, to Peter, our friend, in quite a hubbub aboard the Cosmic Lion Radio. So that was very nice. It's great to get back to the sharing with everyone and the ability that what's Peter got there? Something to show. The ability Will's got one right there. The ability that this ZoomCast has afforded us. I just want to thank everyone for coming. And it's so cool to see everyone on our screen, to interact with people, to meet and see and groove along with everyone.
Big time.
And the fact that everyone here is a fan and loves comics and has something to show off and something interesting about it. It's just like everyone's bringing something cool and different to the table. I love it, except for Manus. So
never. It's always Spider-Man or something drawn by like John Romita Jr. or J. Scott Campbell.
Oh, I think you had a rant to go on. He doesn't mean to go off on a rant here, but
I'm not gonna like rant. Like,
is that a dated reference?
I'm not mad per se.
Yeah.
I'm not mad per se. But last week, Dave brought it to my
Dave Baker
brought it to my attention. I'm always been such a huge fan of John Romita Jr. And he really pointed out to me that it feels like he just doesn't really try anymore. It's like when you've been drawing comics since you're 13 years old, like what can you expect?
And you didn't want to believe that. You didn't want to believe it. You didn't believe it until you went to the book. You opened up.
But he drew this run of this Year of the Villain thing in Action Comics. And I mean, the covers got some nice shit to them, but I normally would want to rip inside it, but I feel like it's not even worth it.
Once you got into the pages there.
Yeah, the extra panels, it's just like, come on, John.
Come on, Johnny.
Come on, Johnny. I felt like his dad always did a really exceptional job. I mean,
it's not always that an artist gets older and gets better, you know, and is always able to grow. Now, a lot of them can, but
It's like he draws these like shading lines on everybody now, like the same way on every character. There's those lines all over them.
Yeah, I think that's part of his style, though.
Yeah, but it wasn't really like that in those like early 500s Spideys and shit, or New Ways to Die. It wasn't really like it wasn't overdone. I feel like each character there's like 108 fucking lines on them. I
think the issue with J.R. Jr., he does his best work when he's drawing like 3 books a month. So he's only drawing 1 book a month. He's got all those lines in there.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Yeah, because you don't see his work very often. And like when he was working for Marvel, he was drawing a lot more books. That's definitely
like $2 a month every month. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those Spideys were the best, and those like Punishers and shit.
Yeah. When he's under the pressure, that's when the goods happen, huh?
Yeah. So I don't know. Reading these actions, I was geeked up, and the only reason I bought them was because it was JR. But as I got through the book, I mean, the writing was whatever. It's like Leviathan and the Legion of Doom come together to.
You're a completist when it comes to
fuck Superman up. So I read the whole story. They didn't succeed, obviously.
Yeah.
And now they're on to the next thing. But yeah, just the art. I was just like, oh man, really wanted a lot more out of this. These Batman issues he drew for the City of Bane, these have some nice panels in them.
So he's working. Oh, he's just working for DC now. He's not doing any Marvel books.
Yeah, he only did these 2 books. And remember, he made the Silencer shit too.
Yeah,
he drew those first couple issues and the covers. And then he did do a newer Kick-Ass. That art I thought was pretty good. He did the first 6 issues of that.
That's right. I remember that.
But yeah, Johnny's one of my favorites, and yeah, I guess it's just having.
But are you digressing that maybe he's not firing on all cylinders anymore?
Yeah, well, clearly.
What if he's cylinders?
Clearly, he's not. I mean, not that his like mental capacity is like fading, but I
think that he just doesn't have the pressure like you guys talked about. Like he can just do whatever he wants, right? And I think that there's a lot of artists that really thrive under that pressure, right? Or at least their art does, right? Maybe it stresses them the hell out, but their art really looks awesome because they were under the wire. Where there's other artists that were like, you give them a million hours and they're going to make the most beautiful piece. If you give them a pressure, it's going to suck, right?
Yeah. Well, no one's telling him either. No one's telling him like, do better, work harder.
It's like the George Lucas on the prequels, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No one's questioning him or arguing him at that point. So he just does what he wants, and it's freaking unwatchable.
Yeah. I liked Revenge of the Sith, that 3rd movie.
Oh, you did? I like them all.
I
enjoy them.
I think it's the most tolerable of the 3, but
yeah, Revenge of the Sith.
Candy in that one.
I put Revenge of the Sith in my top 3 Star Wars films of all time.
I mean, Empire's the best one.
Yeah.
Empire's
the best one.
The best one.
Yeah.
The newest 3, the 7th movie was okay. I liked it. Like the nostalgia watching it for the first time was good. The 8th movie, I was like, what? And then this last movie, I was like, are you fucking
You hated it. You did.
The stupidest fucking thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Well, you didn't get to see it in the theaters either. You weren't
whatever, dude.
We were just at the house.
The fact that they just made, everybody's seen it here, the fact that they just brought Palpatine in like that, I was like, what?
They brought who, Palpatine?
Here you go. Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
Well, it's not really Palpatine. It's just a vegetable plugged into it's like Teddy Ruxpin, basically.
But like he's been controlling everything from behind the scenes the whole time. There was no real hint to that.
Yeah.
There was no foreshadowing, and it was like, what do we do? Jocelyn, figure it out.
Jocelyn.
I look at it like, like, I don't know if any of you guys ever did like improv, right? Or anything like that. But you know what? When you do improv, if you get handed something and you just ignore it, that's called being a fucking amateur, right? Yeah. And that's what they did with the Rise of Skywalker. Was they were handed a gift with the Last Jedi, and they completely just blew it off.
Yeah.
Like, and it just, I mean, you do what you want to do, but at the same time, it just felt like they were like, we don't give a shit. You know?
It's like they still made all the money in the world, but they at least could have given us like
Yeah, so they'll never learn their lesson.
No.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, the other component to all this stuff, and it's been talked about in interviews and stuff, is that the fan like shatting and defilement that went on after the second movie, and all the screaming and fetching from the hordes of, snot-nosed fanboys about how that movie was awful, almost capsized the boat. And so they decided and it was a bad decision, but they were forced into a decision to say, oh, I guess, well, the third movie is going to have to be fan service.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, Ryan, what's his face, was supposed to write, I think, the third one.
Right.
And it would have been a
When he got kicked off.
Yep.
And he got kicked
Ryan
off.
Johnson, right?
But why did he get kicked off? He got kicked off because of venomous fan behavior. And
Star Wars fans are the worst.
And ultimately, corporate said, "Well, I guess we're gonna have a dismal failure if we don't do exactly what they want." So
and
the thing
fans
is,
were like, "We want Palpatine."
So it's like I think if we're all gonna blame anybody, we should be blaming ourselves, not blaming the people in the corporate corridor for saying, "Well, we're gonna lose like $300 million, $600, $800 million if we don't do what they say." And it turns out what their real blunder was not actually in the choices of the storyline, but the choices to actually listen to anybody except for the storytellers.
Right. Star Wars is under like an unimaginable amount of pressure. Anyone who steps into anything there, it's like impossible. You'll never live up to anything. You'll never make a movie that everyone likes unless it's a cartoon, I feel like, because like it seems like everyone loves.
Pretty good.
That's why they decided to go full bore into the past with either the Mandalorian or with Rebels or with this 1,000 years in the past type of storyline, because they can basically do no wrong except for with some continuity.
And they just get all the.
As long as they end up at the right place, it doesn't matter.
Oh, trust me.
Right. Well, they don't even have, well, no, of course they'll destroy it, but like they have at least less opportunities the farther back in time they go, right? Yeah. So probably the one that's set in the ancient times, it's going to kind of shut down a number of those people because, the only ones that are really going to, there's a tiny, sliver of a spectrum of people who would say, well, no, because in the continuity of the expanded universe 1,000 years ago that didn't happen. But those people are so tiny and insignificant compared to people who really see Star Wars. The thing is, the real people who see Star Wars are people like grandparents and their grandkids,
right?
And they don't care. Like we think they care, but they don't care. That's a night's outing. Do we go to take the kids to Pizza Putt, or do we take them to go see Star Wars 13?
I forgot to say that Greg's from Vermont too.
Right.
Word, man.
Pizza Putt drop.
Yeah, I was like,
I know, right? I realized Eli's like, whoa, I just heard Pizza Putt. But you don't have to know what Pizza Putt is to know what Pizza Putt is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. Civilians don't give a crap. They don't care.
Absolutely right.
And so the films are made for civilians. The films are not made for fans. And the films shouldn't be made for fans. That's, by the way, that's my controversial comment of this show. Star Wars films should never be made for fans. They should only be made for the general population and civilians. Why? Because the very first Star Wars film that was ever made was made for the general population and civilians.
And when it was good.
There was no such thing as a Star Wars fan when Star Wars came out.
That's a great point, man.
So why not fucking just stay on target?
I still hate
the
last movie, I gotta say.
Well, you should hate it. You should totally hate it. You should hate or love it.
But I will say, I'm not a super diehard Star Wars fan. I've seen all the movies as a nerd, and I love it, but it's not my favorite thing in the world.
Right. What is your favorite thing?
Boo this man.
Talk about what you love.
Yeah. Don't define ourselves by that which we hate anymore.
No, I just mean because I'd like to know. I've just met you, so.
Oh yeah, no, Spidey's my favorite. He's at the top of my nerdness. Is Peter.
And is that across the board, like video games, comics, movies, etc., TV, whatever? Like, is it just across the board, or is
Yeah.
it like certain things?
No, I mean, in video games, it's like, video games is a little harder. Like, I've always been a huge Street Fighter fan, although it makes me so angry, I need to stop playing or I might have a stroke.
It's a real
I
problem.
love
I've
Final
seen it.
Fantasy.
It's true. I've seen
Final
it.
Fantasy VII had a lot of influence on my like growing up because of when it came out in high school. Like that character Cloud is amazing. Just all those characters. Like when I watched Advent Children for the first time and he runs up Bahamut's back after they all throw him through the blast. Like when Aerith goes to take his hand, I'm like, oh my God. You know, every time I could turn that on right now and it would do that to me.
And weep.
Metal Gear Solid too. Solid Snake. I love him too. And then like the Hulk. But yeah, I don't know. It's more like character wise. Like playing Spider-Man in a good Spider-Man video game is the best.
It is
Spider-Man 2. That was a great game.
The new one too is pretty amazing. Swinging around.
Yeah, like they actually replicated the effect that the first guy who programmed that on Spider-Man 2. They brought it to that guy. Sorry if that didn't make sense. The guys who developed the newest game brought their game to the guy who developed Spider-Man 2 back when the second movie came out. And he was like, you did it. You captured what I created with like the quick falling motions.
For GameCube?
Yeah. It was on all platforms, but GameCube was the one we were playing the most.
GameCube is the one that everyone recognizes that as the official platform. Spider-Man 2.
Herman, miss that guy.
Is that Brian Herman, my fellow Vermonter?
It is, Greg. How's it going, man? I saw you on the ZoomCast, and I was like, how did he get here? But all right.
Because bad pennies,
dude,
and also Sicilianos. We just get into cracks and.
Hey man, I'm happy to see you. It's really good to see you.
Oh, it's so funny to see you on a internationally renowned podcast when we live literally like probably minutes, or at least it'd be very easy for us to hang, but of course this is where we're hanging, right?
What ties this whole thing together?
Yeah, Manus was the one who invited me. So greetings everybody.
Awesome.
But I mean, me and Eli's relationship also stems met here, but we met because of people from Vermont.
And I never.
Well, we originally met definitely in Burlington, but never liked each other.
Vermont, but I mean, like we started hanging out and became friends out here.
Right.
So Dunbar, you're a Burlington person as well?
Yep.
Oh, I
played with like Grippo Funk Band a lot.
Oh, right on.
I was a voice back in the day. That was like the first band I played in.
Right.
But everybody knows Grippo for sure.
Over here, we were called the Neighborhood a while ago.
Yeah, I've lived here since 1978.
Yeah.
And Greg did some local Comic-Cons, I thought. Comic-Cons out there too.
I was the second person to do Comic-Cons in the state. The first one was, I can't remember his name. He was only a high school kid, but his dad paid for it sort of to work to do it. And they were good actually. But I was like, 1980s basically, like mid into late 80s.
Pretty cool.
For Steve Bissett, Rick Veitch, Turtles guys, original Turtles guys.
Sick. Kevin Peter or like Jim Lawson?
Yeah, Kevin Peter and
nice.
I've got actually that's probably I'll bring that up to share too, because I have one wrinkled flyer that I found in the basement of my stuff. I have nothing from that time, but I got the one like little handbill that I made that got given out at the comic book store for one of the shows. Then it's got the guests on there. I also had all the North Star guys a couple times at least. The old what do you call it? What was it called? Bernie Moreau, Gabriel Morissette, and the guy who wrote North Star. Who wrote
I don't know that book too well. I just know that Bernie did the art, but
so Bernie did like a sorcery kind of weird modern fantasy book first, and then it was like aliens and magic and stuff, and this guy in Nova Scotia who's in a lighthouse, and it was just a perfect little book, but I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But anyway, then he did the Jam. But there was the main character of North Star Comics was what was it called? Was it North Star? I don't remember. But anyway, it was a Canadian flag type of hero.
Was it? Yeah, like a Union Jack or something.
With an energy
or the
band,
cloud,
powers.
or the
he had like
the leaf
armband.
Yeah.
And that was Gabriel Morissette and the writer, whose name is escaping me, who was also the publisher. And those three guys came down a few times, and yeah, a bunch of people came through that show. Those 4 shows maybe? It was fun.
That's awesome,
man. Yeah.
Good stuff.
One room. Yeah, no, yeah.
All right, Manus, did you want to start the show and tell portion of the show?
I feel like I did already by talking about John Romita Jr. and then we went into quite the tangent there. It was amazing.
All right, word, yeah. Tangentialize.
Cloud Bring Arts figure I got.
Bring Arts Fig Arts.
Fucking length on that goddamn sword. Excuse my language.
It's very big.
Look at that shit, dude.
Do you think he's compensating for anything with a sword that size?
Nah, you can't hold a sword like that with a small dingle.
I guess you're right.
You can't do that.
It's got to even out, kind of.
Only other person wielding as big a sword is
You need a large dingle to act as like a counterweight.
Yeah, exactly.
When you swing, it's like he actually has to get it with his hip.
Yeah, when you got a dangler hanging like that, you definitely need a
Dangle, man.
Like,
just acts like a flywheel for the swing. Yeah.
His arm, this sword's so heavy, it's hard to like pose his arm however you want. You have to find a spot.
Oh, it weighs it down, yeah.
The only other 2 people with swords this big is Sephiroth's sword. His sword is very long, yet it's like skinny. It's like a katana. Sephiroth's the villain from Final Fantasy VII.
Right, and Ron Jeremy.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. It was Ron Jeremy.
He's got his edge sword as Cloud.
Nice.
He's a wielder of a large sword. I'm gonna be
Sweet, dude. I guess I'll do a quick show and tell today, only because it is my boy Mobius's birthday today.
Oh, shit.
So one of the greatest artists of all time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you know.
Facts.
I've got this one right here, Galactus, Silver Surfer, but I'll show one of my favorite.
Eli's gonna show.
This book, you were still able to get it off Graffiti not too long ago.
Ooh, nice.
Mobius 7 hardcover.
Wow.
Gas.
Right on the inside too, it's got the goddess story in it, which is one of my favorite stories.
Yeah.
And the book plate is actually signed by Jean Giraud himself. Where was that?
You mean Gir?
Yeah, Gir. There it is. It's like an Arzak.
Oh yeah, classic.
Signed there.
Oh wow, dude.
All these came from Graffiti, signed, just normal. This was probably like $30.
Get out of here. I'm gonna go over there right now.
I'm not sure they have this one anymore, but they have numerous Blueberry books, but they're like don't guarantee the quality of them because some are beat up. I got a Blueberry off that, and there's some like water damage on it and stuff.
What? Just from Graffiti? What site did you say?
Yeah, Graffiti Designs. They have a few different of these Mobius books.
Can we look at Graffiti Design about T-shirts, and they didn't have any Marvel shirts left, right?
You know what? They used to have the Marvel license, and they don't anymore. So they can't even sell them on their website anymore. So it's just DC, like Jay and Silent Bob.
In the warehouse somewhere. Give me that.
I know. I bet they do.
Dude,
if anyone has a line on some Vinty tees, that's Manus's
Dude,
main
I got
thing.
J. Scott Campbell. This is like number 30 from that whatever series 3 or 4.
Oh, that's tight.
You can follow at Jan Michael Vintage on Instagram for all your.
I got hard shirts. I sold a Street Fighter shirt for crazy money today. I more so gave it to a friend for money I owed them, but it felt good.
All right, well, we can move on now to our first presenter of our audience peeps. We got Will, who is also a publisher, a podcaster in his own right, a great podcast about comic crossovers, DC Marvel stuff, Amalgam, I think you did.
We haven't yet, but we're planning to soon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Published the 100% comics. That was nice enough to publish my scrawlings twice. Ben's scrawlings.
Yep,
Sorry, Ben's comics. Yeah.
There you
my
go.
Scrawlings.
Issue 1 and 2 there. So yeah, no, those are fun. Just to clarify, if anyone's listened to the Epic Marvel podcast, we do a special on their feed with Curtis from out of Canada. He breaks down the Epic collections of Marvel, and what Jim and I do on that is we do about once a month, and we break down like a Marvel intercompany crossover with some other, like Superman, Spider-Man, or the next one we do is going to be the one that comes out this month is the JLA Avengers. Right, and then next month we're doing the Superman Silver Surfer issue, right?
Oh,
so
such a good book.
those intercompany crossovers, and so those are about once a month. So if you follow their feed, it pops up on there. So, I don't know. I have a number of things over this past week that have come in that I thought I'd talk a little bit about.
You do a lot of dealing. You do a lot of comic book dealing, wheeling, wheeling as well as dealing, really.
Yeah, so that's actually what I do. Like. That's my main like side gig, right? Is I'll work cons, right? And so I have a partner that I work with, and we've got literally, 45 or something short boxes of dollar bins, right?
Nice.
That's just dollar bins. That doesn't even count our priced out stuff, right? So between us, my partner has like 200 long boxes in storage of stuff, right? So we just always show up with new stuff, right? And so I try to do a lot of like, trading, and, anyone who wants stuff, let me go digging and see what I can find, and we'll, most of it's dollar bin crap to us. So, if you need stuff, fill in runs for other stuff I need to fill in runs, just let me know.
You got any gunsmith cats in there? Trying to
what?
Whole run.
Gunsmith cats, man, it's got to run.
The dark
I don't know. I have to look for that. But yeah, no. So, and then a lot of the stuff I get in, I post over at the Kayfabe group. So, some of you guys have probably seen some of this stuff, but I was showing you guys before the show, like something that I found this week, just literally out of digging through dollar bin stuff that I was sorting for dollar bin. Was a Milk and Cheese first print #1, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Slave labor.
Yeah. I was excited by that because I pulled it out and I'm looking at it going like, that can't be a first print. Like, and I was like, holy crap. Cause I know I got it for like next to nothing. Right. Like, and those usually go for somewhere around, $50 to $100 a piece online.
Yeah.
When you find them. So that was a pretty good find. I know you ordered some of that stuff from Last Gasp, right?
I did,
on that sale. Yeah.
Where you spend 50 and you get 50% off. It's like, how can you not?
Yeah. So I got this first edition, or first volume Heavy Metal from 77. And one of the best things about this issue is this story that has all these illustrations from Howard Chaykin in it, right? Nice. So all these big full page.
So is it about him, or he does like a story?
Yeah, it's a story, and he just does the illustrations on it, right?
Is that Fortune's Fool?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, so it's Len Wein written. It's a Len Wein written story, and then Howard Chaykin did the very Chaykin-esque big collage pieces. So it's a kind of a cool little find in there. Then I found. Go ahead.
I was gonna make a bad joke about how I like to shake it to Wein myself, about the band Wein and Len Wein. It's just.
So here's one. I also pulled. Did you pull this one, Eli, or did you pull this Eclipse Mag?
I did. Yeah.
Did you notice there's this story in here? This one story in here. Tell me that doesn't like scream of Dan Clowes right there in that.
Oh my God! Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So I was just flipping through this. I was like, what the fuck is this? It's called Miss Tree. It's Eye for an Eye. It's Max Collins and Terry Beatty. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the early.
If a tree falls.
Yeah, early Miss Tree, right?
Yeah.
That's the first of the mystery stuff. That's the Eclipse magazine.
Yeah, I mean, it totally looks like this is something Dan Clowes saw and whatever, and just built off of, right? Yeah. Or maybe this was what year was this?
1981.
Yeah, this is 81, so this is pre.
Yeah, he was already working. Yeah, he's already working in like ground level and indie comics at that point.
Yeah, but it's pre 8 Ball. So.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. Well, when I say ground level, I mean late 70s through basically Pacific Comics.
Yeah, I was just blown away just flipping through this, and I thought I had to double take and go, is that a Dan Clowes? I was like, that doesn't look right. That one kind of.
Wonder if it was an inspiration. It must have been. I mean, I'm sure that's the kind of thing you're picking up and like looking through. It's.
Yeah. The other one one of the other good ones I picked up was Tits and Clits Comics.
Nice.
Good old dirty underground mags, right?
Yeah.
This cover is absolutely hilarious though. I was dying at this cover where, they're obviously post-coital and she's basically like, hey, what kind of protection did you use? right? I think that's absolutely one of the most funniest covers for like 1981 or something.
Yes.
Yeah, no, blew my mind. I was like, okay, that's worth the comic right there.
Tits and Clits.
Yeah,
classic title right
Great
there.
title, yeah.
My favorite title.
And the only other thing, I posted these in the kayfabe group. I got these art pieces from Larry Stroman.
Ooh, I saw that post, man.
Yeah, so it's a little. I put them in these top loaders, but yeah, there's that Dark Phoenix.
Ooh.
Yeah,
and that's original art or no? That's...
Yeah, these are originals. These are hand drawn. They're all pen and ink, right?
Damn, man.
Yeah, so he did that one, and then I got this black suit Spidey right there.
Damn, that's fire.
I mean, yeah, he's posting all over online, on Twitter, on Facebook, just sending a lot of these for like anywhere between $50 to $100, depending on the characters.
I mean,
damn.
You can't pass them up. I was just like, holy crap, like that's great, because Stroman always was a solid illustrator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so, and then I saw some people in the group when I posted other ones that they bought some Stromans, and they had like someone had posted they got like a Strong Guy, right, from
nice.
Strowman X Factor era, right?
I loved that Strong Guy, man.
Yeah,
that was a favorite.
No, I think he did the best Strong Guy. I think that he captured kind of that quirkiness of Strong Guy, but not too cartoony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was definitely
and he had that thing. I mean, the whole build was like giant torso, little teeny legs, that little teeny head with the
and then the goggles,
there.
Right?
Oh,
and the goggles are what sold him to me. Like, to me, that's what made the face, you know?
I think it was the little flip of hair. I had the figure too. The figure was bomb.
Was it? I'd never had the figure.
What'd you say, Peter?
I think his hair was either green or gray. I can't remember too. He had his little tuft.
Yeah, and he had like a cowlick or a little curly guy going on, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Such a dope character design for sure.
Oh my god.
And one last thing I want to just call out here quickly, and this is something that so if any of you guys follow me on Twitter, you can look me up, Golden Boy Photo 1. I do giveaways on there of just like random comics I find around, right? So I'm going to be giving these away, and this is Lobo Highway to Hell. So this is Sam Keith doing Lobo. This is issues 1 and 2. So the run, right?
Oh my god! I'm
gonna give these away over on Twitter here soon. So if you give me a follow, and
nobody follow him, let me do it.
Give me a follow, and I'll post these here soon. So that's just sometimes I just go digging, because I'll make prepackaged like runs of like a mini series or something. And I'll package them together. So I was digging through, and I was like, oh, you know what? Every once in a while, I just pull one out and go like, yeah, let's give this away to someone, you know, because I got shit.
I like that shit.
So,
yeah,
cool.
dude, you put up like the short box you were digging through the other day, kind of just like because we can't get to a comic store, so you flip through that short box, and you're like, if anybody sees anything they want, you know, just
let me know.
I was like, oh shit, man! I actually watched the whole video. I was like, this is cool.
Well, I posted one the other day. I posted another one today. So I put the short box up today. I think I'll do it every few days or so. I don't know. I like dollar bin diving, you know, and I mean, we all do, right? So I've got like, 35 short boxes of dollar bin stuff in my garage. So I'll just pull one out and we'll flip through it. And you guys want anything, let me know. And I ship pretty cheap. So
yeah, I love that.
Manus, I did want to ask you real quick. Are you over there playing? You're with your toys, or what you doing, bud?
Right here.
You're over there playing?
I'm posing Cloud.
That's awesome, man. That's
Damn
great.
Right. Awesome. I got the sword holding sideways.
He looks like he's about to chop, yo.
He's gonna fucking chop.
All right, Mike. All right, well, thank you so much. Anything else you wanted to say? We got all your ats and stuff, where everyone can find you.
Yeah, mainly just on Twitter, at Golden Boy Photo 1, or on Facebook. You can find me either on just chatting in the group, or on my page is a 100% comics on Facebook, and you can find my page.
You're taking submissions for issue 3 right now.
I am. I don't know if I've gotten any. I haven't actually checked the folder yet, but yeah, we are open the plan is for issue 3. I want to shoot for that probably late summer, early fall. It might be a little later than that, depending on, the cost situation and printing and all that. So,
right. And you've been giving them away for free, mostly to local stores, and then selling them online, which is
So I'm selling them online, but what I've been doing. So really, the impetus came from like I wanted to just bring comics that I don't normally see in the LCS into the LCS. right? Because I work and I go to all the LCSs, right? Like in my area, I know all the guys, and we stop in, I do rounds, every month or two, right? I'm gonna hit everyone up and see what they got, dig through their bins, whatever.
Nice.
And I just like, a lot of these, I just miss like just the little anthology mags. Like I love those. Those are my favorite thing to pick up.
Yeah.
So it was mostly just going like, well, then why don't I just make one of those and let's see what we can get and bring some people into the LCS. And I wanted to support them. So for them, it's free, and I want them to give it away. Right. But if anyone wants it shipped and ordered, I'm gonna charge. Right.
You gotta pay for that shipping.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, if you don't want to pay, head into one of the local LCSs and pick it up there. So,
awesome.
My primary LCS where I do my orders from they put up a display and everything for each issue, and they've been supporting. So
that's cool, man. Respect. Well done with that shit, Will. I'm honored to have been in both issues, and I'm gonna work something up for issue 3 for sure.
Awesome. So.
Will, how do I get in touch with you to submit something?
Just like I said, if you hit me up on Twitter, I'll send you the link. I have a submission link with guidelines and everything now, and I'm actually trying.
He's
to
in the
start...
kayfabe group.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was just wondering what your handle is on Twitter.
Yeah. It's Golden Boy Photo 1.
All right, now we thank you so much again, Will. Our next presenter, man, super awesome work recently. Gilbert Leiker here. He just did a 24-hour comic in the last couple of days. The other day, basically worked 24 hours straight, 21 hours straight to make this amazing book. He was streaming live. It was so cool to watch, so fun to see. No pencils, some pencils, but mostly just like brain to page. Amazing inks, flying cars, interesting stuff.
Wait, what do you mean no pencils?
Like he didn't. Well, Gilbert will get into it. Gibby will get into it here. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, also author of the Twin Peaks comics, bootleg comics, Gibby Leiker,
German. So yeah, German. The first. The second letter, the second vowel does all the talking. The first one shuts the fuck up. So,
damn.
Yeah, that's how our vowels work in the German language.
If I may also add, Gib did another amazing art show, like a live art show on his Facebook, where he hung everything all throughout his house, kitchen, bathroom, every room, and he walked around, described. It's still up. This was such a cool thing. Like even with the little placards and everything, like such a great job he did.
Tried to do a full-on isolation show.
It was amazing, dude. Yeah. All right, so what'd you bring to show us today, Gib?
Basically, I came to. Got back into comics. I used to work at a comic book store like 20 some odd plus years ago in the early 90s. I spent like 5.5 years working in a comic shop, and then got into doing other artwork, and then started following like cartoonist kayfabe, and so Jim Rugg kind of inspired me with some of his Make More comics to actually like make little mini comics and stuff, and then just always constantly diving back into the comics, I suddenly was like, I haven't never successfully sat down and did a 24-hour comic. So I set myself some time to do it. I dug out my old like dynamic, not Dynamic Forces. I forget what company it was that used to make their kind of generic comic sheets. So
I don't know.
I remember
not like DC ones.
There's the Blue Line Pro.
Yeah, Blue Line.
Pro. I mean,
Blue Line. That's what it is. Blue Line Pro. Thanks, Greg. Yeah. So I dug these out, but I've been sitting in my closet for like 20 years blank. I hadn't been working on anything, and set myself up to do a 24-hour comic. I just, let my girlfriend know I was going to be incommunicado for 24 hours, and locked myself in the studio. And I went by Scott McCloud's like basic original rules when he did his first one with Stephen Bissett in like 1995. I think he was writing up on. He has a little write up on his website. I posted like links and stuff. which is basically that you start from scratch. Like, no, you don't have a plot written out. You know, you might have a little concept or gather some resources, but you don't have thumbnails for everything done. You just jump in and you do the book, pure improvisation, you know, pretty much in what you can do in 24 hours. So really the only thing I had thought out was that I knew I wanted to kind of work in those brushy ink pens so that I could sling a bunch of ink and get sloppy and cover a lot of surface. Oh, somebody's popping up. And then so I basically just grabbed the first page and was talking my way through it in like the live streams. You can hear me mumbling about that. I was like, you know what, we're just going to start at like a church, and then we're going to go into a graveyard and have some dudes digging up, doing a little grave robbing. And they're looking for like a ring. This is probably showing up backwards to you guys or something, isn't it?
Not showing right. Showing right.
Oh, okay. I can't tell sometimes if it's doing right reading or wrong reading. And then I tried to keep a good pace and throw in like, you know, big panels where I could just get crazy with the ink and do a lot of coverage and, you know, just to help make up time. Because trying to do one page an hour, it's actually quite exhausting when you're on there. So, you know, I would do like kind of complicated pages where I would try to be really good with the art. Setting up the guy driving away in his car.
That's a great page.
Yeah,
Nice.
So, oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you're making the stuff up. You like don't know what's gonna work and what's not gonna work, and a lot of stuff doesn't work. and then there's the car driving off the road. You know,
that's the one I watched you do. That's the one that I was in there.
Yeah.
For. So cool now to see, you know.
You know, though, that's also what's interesting about the practice of the 24-hour comic, right? Because not only do you have to not know, you know, stuff's not going to work, but also sometimes that's part of the beauty of what you end up with, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, dude, this is something like I would have never broken this rule in a normal, you know, and then you end up with something really interesting and creative.
Yeah. And I like horror comics and stuff, but I'm like a sci-fi guy. Like I love spacesuits and stuff. But I know, you know, like you can see my artwork in the back there, like how detailed and covering everything I would be. Like I wouldn't be able to get a page done in 24 hours if I started drawing a friggin' spacesuit. Like, you know, I'm on that like Jeff Darrow wannabe tip when I start drawing spacesuits. So I was like, I got to do something that's out of my comfort zone. And but I had so much fun like drawing all this horror stuff that I'm not used to drawing.
Do you think that you chose horror specifically because you didn't want to do sci-fi so that you could kind of keep it in the real world and manage it a little bit?
And I also figured I could get a little bit sloppy with the inks and stuff and it would still look good.
Oh, for sure. And in fact add to the scariness.
And add to the thing. So, and then like and then I would do like a big splash page just to give myself like a breather. So I had one of the characters get grabbed by the evil witch and she got kind of like sucked into this giant skull.
Nice.
You know, maybe turn it sideways. I don't know what works best for you guys.
It was looking good. It's tight, man.
Every good sci-fi has a giant skull. Every good horror has some sort of giant.
So the only time I broke the rule, most of those, like I might do like a quick sketch, like right there on it and then start inking. The only page I really broke that rule on was this one. Because as I was flipping through my blank pages, I came across this page that had from a abandoned comic book project, probably from like 15 or so years ago, of this guy like waking up.
Oh, cool.
And it was like the same type of bed with the bars at the end that I had been drawing in the other pages. I just seen that's like the only kind of bed I can draw or some shit. So I saw the bed and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use this page. But I mean, it has like bottles and garbage all over the place. So it still took me like an hour to ink it. Like it didn't save me any time necessarily in that regard, like time wise.
Yeah, the Kraftwerk poster in there and to honor the guy who passed the other day.
Florian.
Yeah, Florian. Yeah. Computer world.
So, and then one of the pitfalls of doing it, like there's some benefits, but like one of the pitfalls was I have like a really crap page where I was getting tired, and I have these guys kind of walking into an alley, and I was being lazy. And then have them like show up at like a doorway to a club. And for some reason I wanted to do this like floating spine skull like at the door.
I was brushing my teeth to go to bed, and I tuned in to you right there.
I meant to have a whole page like showing them like going into the club and establishing what the club was. And then by the time I took a little break and got back to drawing, I went right into like an info dump page and totally didn't do the proper like establishing and stuff like that. I just like forgot where I was. But then I also went off and did one where I just started, I was like, I'm tired of square panels.
That's another thing that's probably so cool about the 24-hour comics is like you can tell when you're getting tired. You might think this page like wasn't good, but I mean to me it looked good. And now here you can definitely tell that like you're getting tired. You're letting go of pretenses. You're letting go of anything stopping you from.
And then I took a little break and I came back, and then I had
holy
to get
shit. Yeah, see.
Wow. So like, I was like, oh, I'm going to lose a bunch of time on this, but I was kind of already ahead. So like, I was just like, all right, I'm going to get a little detailed with it.
So when you go to ink that really takes a lot of time, huh?
That's the only thing though he's doing is
yeah, most of those like, so like on this one, like I penciled in just like 10 lines to kind of show where the breaks were going to be.
Just the forms, right?
Yeah, man. Just the forms. And then I just jump right into the inks.
Okay.
And then you can see where I start getting a little bit lazier. And like there's a lot more white space showing up in the panels because this was getting in toward like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I had been drawing continuously since 9 a.m. the previous morning. You know, so I look at them and I go, man, these look like shit, but I also know like how tired I was at the time I was doing these, that I was like,
well, drawing nonstop too. Didn't you say your wrist went out or something?
Right here, the flexors and extensors in my arm are like still bothering me today.
Oh my God.
That'll happen.
So, and then like page 23 was a super thin page, like trying to wrap stuff up. And then I needed to save a little bit of energy so I could do the last pinup with the body from the beginning with the hand coming back out the grave. Because you always got to do that at the end of the horror story. You got to show that like whatever you left buried is going to crawl its way back up.
The threat always has to remain.
Yeah.
You know, I did two 24-hour comics in the last 2 years. And
nice.
I'm at a place right now where I probably, if I were to do it again, I love doing it. It was amazing. If I were to do it again, it would not be like a traditional narrative. It would be like an illustrated essay kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's just like
anything goes with that project, so you can do whatever you like. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
trying to do narrative was so, like I did one 1 year, and I was like, this makes no fucking sense. And then the one I did the next year tries to like write my way out of the pickle.
Oh, that's cool. So it's a sequel to your original book.
Yeah, it's a sequel to I was on a lot of glaucoma medicine, so it was
marijuana.
Yeah. It's a weird.
Yeah, so I hope to do another one. Might try it again next year, and I might do like one of the. I think Scott McCloud and some other people, they talk about different variations of like having your script done ahead of time and then spending 24 hours doing the art or whatever.
Interesting.
We were talking about doing an event. So I was talking a little bit earlier. I mentioned my LCS has been supportive of like the comics project. So when I first showed him like the first issue, he started talking to me about he wanted to do an event in town, but like mainly for like kids and not like a full 20, but like an 8-hour or something, like an 8-hour workshop or something. Yeah. Bring kids and like high school students and the college students in, and then I said, hey, if you do that, we'll publish it, right? Like, well, if you get that and we get viable stories, we'll put a little book together. right?
Yeah.
You know, and then he would have like co-sponsored the book and thrown in, you know, half the print cost or something like that, right? And I thought that was an awesome idea. Like I love doing the variations or the idea of that. You know, let's start play with it and see how the restrictions change. What the outcome.
Yeah, if I do another one, I might try to follow like my fall into like the stuff that I really love, like cyberpunk and science fiction. And I think in that case, I probably would have to like plan ahead and maybe concept a little bit more and like know what story I was working on, because I definitely would get carried away drawing all the little details and stuff like that. So.
Well, you did that series where I know you traveled to like a art conservatory in France and you were doing all these paintings of these intricate backgrounds with this spaceman kind of like connected to like a tube out of the frame always.
Yeah.
It's really interesting kind of dichotomy of like.
Try to.
Yeah, I really like those pieces, man. Exactly. Yeah, this one.
You can see my Mobius love coming through.
Oh, it's so cool, man.
With the little Mobius dude. And then
he's connected.
Yeah, and then that one.
Man. What a cool.
But yeah,
so were those actual locations you were seeing and then you were adding in your character? That's sick.
That was actually there while I was wandering around the little village I was doing the residency in.
And that's a really interesting way to do it, where I'm sure other people were simply drawing their surroundings and then you're like, you know what, no, I'm going to add in.
I'm going to add in a little, 12 monkeys.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis.
Willis.
Exactly.
Sick, man. Thank you so much, Gibby.
Dude.
Do you have any plans on publishing that book, you think?
I think I might put it together. I was kind of debating, like my girlfriend was asking me about it, and I was thinking about either fixing some pages and publishing it, but still showing like the original pages that were kind of clunky, and doing the one page that I kind of missed in the middle of the story that I was like, it really doesn't transition here.
Yeah.
And then keeping, like an addendum with the other stuff in there.
That's a good idea.
But like right now, like I was so fresh from doing it that I'm more worried about like my,
oh yeah,
are you gonna recover? Get my drawing arm working again. One last note, because I've got a little dog that I just got back from the vet that I need to go check in on, so I'm gonna have to probably bail real quick.
Sure.
But I just want to let everybody know so I don't seem rude and just like disappear. But
no worries, man.
Eli and Manis for having me on here. It's been great to get to talk about this stuff, and thanks for showing up and checking out while I was working on it.
Yeah, of course, man. I was psyched on it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. And thanks again, Gilbert Leiker. I can't even remember my cousin's name over there.
Yeah, no, that's why I had to phonetically.
That's why he phonetically put it up there, so I wouldn't introduce him wrong like an idiot.
Just trying to help you out, man.
Thanks, Mike.
There you go.
Sweet.
Awesome. Well,
thanks, Gib.
Thanks, Gib.
Yeah, looks great.
That was dope.
Manus, how you doing, bud?
I'm all right.
Yeah, this is going good.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic.
It's such an interesting new way to do our podcast.
Yeah, I mean,
I love it.
In the new era. Is that me?
I think that's
I don't know. I mean, it's going to you. Yeah.
She's a metalsmith and a jeweler, and we share an office.
Oh, wow.
She's literally, here you go, honey. Yeah. The boys say hi.
You gotta make the jewels.
Well, Peter, you want to go next? You got something to show?
Sure, since my girlfriend has auditorily invited,
nominated you.
Yes. Amy's cool. She's cool. She's mad now. I blew up her spine. She doesn't like her cool metalsmith classes. She's ashamed of them. She loves them.
Yeah. It looked good. It looked
I think they look so cool. Yeah. I've just been kind of like, I'm like glued to the screen. This has been amazing. Everybody's so sharing such cool shit. Everybody's like such a cool creator. This has been really dope, Eli. So
yeah, man. Glad you came.
Thanks so much.
You're a cool creator as well. You make some
Brian had to go. His like computer crashed, and he said he had to go deal with some small people. So
happens, man.
He'll be back at some point. Maybe not tonight, but further cast.
So Peter, other than making dope beats, you're also a huge comic fan as well.
Yeah, definitely. Like more so when I was a kid, and like picking up issues and Manis was a big influence. I definitely like probably purchased maybe like 150, 200 books from that guy over the years. That fucking guy. Still have them. Went through phases of being a crazy collector, but like you, I'm a visual artist too. And I used to do that a lot more. And so comics for me was always just art first. And it's kind of how now I'm like, I like Manis and I used to be in a rap group so many years ago. I kind of took to the producer role because I just enjoy that a lot more. I have anxiety and didn't realize that when I was performing for all those years, how terrifying it was and what that meant. But I know now that I don't have the performer bug as much as some people do, and I just don't care about that shit. So I just make fire beats. But
hey, hold on one sec here. What's going on here, Greg?
Oh crap! Did I hit share screen start?
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, that's all right. Sorry, go ahead there.
It's like some shitty Dark Knight or something you're working on.
We had him in here last week. I
was trying to grab the window and move it out of the way. So, sorry for interrupting it.
Yeah, I was actually chatting with Jan a little before this, just because I've had a couple comic ideas bumping around, and I've been thinking about getting back into visual arts. I've been drawing a bit. I do I play a lot of Magic the Gathering, and I do proxies for some of my friends. I'll just sketch cards that they want or they've asked me to draw. So that's been a fun thing. Unfortunately, I couldn't find really any to this time, but I'll bust them out next time just because so many people are showing cool artistic stuff that I really want to do that too.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm going to do it some more. I'm thinking about actually maybe really taking some more steps on these 2 books that I've been thinking about for a while. And, this is a great place you're a great resource, Eli. And obviously all these people are such, cool creators, and everybody that's been on here has been a really, just really liberal with the information that they share. And I just think it's so cool. It's a great format for sure.
Thanks, dude. I agree, man.
Yeah, no, I love it. Like when we did it last week, I was like, this is cool because it's a lot of people who are showing each other their creative stuff rather than just seeing you being like, did you like that comic? I didn't like it. Man, do you ever read any comics that are not like that? No. That's basically what we do on a regular podcast. So it's cool to actually get a bunch of other creators in here to be like, hey, look at this awesome stuff I do. Hey, I did this in 24 hours. I fucking love it. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, to your credit, the both of you, I guess, I'm a listener and I like the show, and I kind of count you guys. I mean, I listen to shit.
I'm not taking away from the banter, the hilarious.
Right. Well, Eli's definitely better than you are at all this, though.
I was doing it a lot longer, but I will take that compliment.
Eli's just better,
No.
Most of these things.
No, Jesus.
No, but I do think you guys have a lot of meat on the bone. I think that it's a great podcast. You guys don't, you don't stray too far, and that's important. I listen to a shit ton of podcasts, and a lot of people put out podcasts, and it's not just it's not easy to just sit on a mic and chat and talk bullshit.
Definitely not.
You guys keep the spirit alive, and you talk about it. You talk about stuff. You go on tangents, but you have a lot of core stuff that you hit on that I think is really cool, and it keeps the spirit alive.
Now just think about it. You're on the podcast talking about you listen to the podcast.
It's almost like a Dark City or something. It's
Dark City. What a good movie that was.
Wow. Alex Proyas, man. That's a killer
baby.
Oh my God. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my
visually a stunner.
Right? That's Dark City.
What did you do, Manis?
Right? That's what the guy's like on the cover?
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah,
you're thinking of the right one. He's like this. Yeah.
Yeah, which
the fact that Will got that is great
in the movie, but I'm not sure if that's just like one of those things that they do for the cover. I'm trying to remember.
I don't think it was really a scene in the movie. It's mostly, I think, the cover art. Yeah.
You know who's in that also too? Is the villain is
Richard O'Brien.
Richard O'Brien.
Yeah.
From
and one of like an absolute killer role.
Yes. Basically, his only other role other than Riff Raff, pretty much.
Right.
Although he did write
Riff
that.
Raff the rapper.
From what? Riff Raff the rapper? Does he go, my fork, my fork, my fork, my fork?
No, there's a rapper named Riff Raff, Eli.
Yeah, I thought he sang that song. That movie Spring Breakers, they based it off to him, right?
Yeah.
And he sang my fork. My fork, my fork, my fork, my fork.
Eli's with it, and you didn't realize it, man.
It's goddamn it. See what I put up with, Peter, our friend?
I know. I hear it.
Just kidding.
Now I see it.
Yes, man.
What do you mean? What can I say? I got to be myself.
That's right.
So when you do read comics, Peter, what type of stuff really lights you up?
Yeah, well, I definitely still do. I'm more in the kind of old guy phase where all the books are in storage. We have storage downstairs, so I just have boxes and boxes. So I wasn't really able to pull too much out other than just like a couple chill, like little, just no big deal kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
These are just a little Maximum Carnage.
Hey, if anyone wants that Venom Lethal Protector, I've got a full run of 1 through 6 if anyone's interested.
Oh, shit. This has become a swap meet, and I 100% love that.
I love it, dude.
Yeah. Firebooks.
What? Wait. Did you just put a graphic up, or you have that?
No. No, it's a little laser cut sign.
Amazing.
That's
done.
That's the best kind of graphics. Yeah.
I'm jealous of that Spidey Unlimited #1. I'm pretty sure I
Show
have
that one again. Show that one again.
copies of it, but I
mean, I'm a Ron Lim fan, not as much as Bagley, but and I love Ron Lim, and I love all the work that he did on like Spidey. He's definitely like
Surfer Run too. That was bomb.
Yeah. Coming from
$1,000 Comic Image T-shirt. It's $1,000 right there if you have it.
Yeah. Stupid. Yeah, those tees are going crazy now.
Just for who missed it last week, Manus made me $800 off my high school T-shirts.
Yeah,
I love that book right there, baby. That's the book.
It's one of my favorite things. Wait, that Will had?
Yeah.
Which
Dude,
one?
I'll always say this. Fucking.
300.
hell yeah.
That's such a good one.
JC, man, like Len knows how to backstock books like that. He's got like a long box full of that book still.
Are you telling Mike about Joker's Child?
I'm just shouting him out in general because some things I learned from him.
Oh, wow. Guys, my dad is coming in.
What?
All right. Incoming.
There he is.
Hey.
What's up, Dad?
How's it going? Anybody
Pretty
else
good.
on?
Yeah, we got about 10 people.
Hey, nice.
Everyone, this is Doug.
Hey, guys.
You know Manus, kinda, and you know Mike.
Hey, guys.
Doug.
Hey,
Did
Mike.
you bring something to show and tell, Dad?
Well, I could get something.
Oh, yeah, well, you should.
All right.
Well, stay downstairs.
I will.
Yeah, stay downstairs.
Hi.
Hey, Mom.
Hi,
Hey, Mike. Guys, don't embarrass me, remember?
Yeah.
Who, me embarrass you?
Yeah. Actually, I mean, if we're talking about influences, this guy created my comic book love. So if it wasn't for him, none of us would be here right now.
You know why that's so awesome?
Oh, there's the print that I made for him for anyone that ordered my first comic.
The dad
deluxe
print.
edition.
That's sick.
Of course, yeah, the mom print
I
too.
had to do mom one too.
Oh man.
Rosie the Riveter style.
Nice.
All right.
Dad's a big Superman fan.
Signed
by
Brandon
Routh. Yeah. Also plays the Atom now on TV's Legends of Tomorrow.
How about Superman number 11?
Wow.
Oh, Dad, actually, Will is a dealer and might be interested in buying some of your low-grade Superman.
Well, Will, you need to send
low grade comics is like my jam.
Dad, actually, Will has a YouTube show where he breaks open the CGC slabs. Look at those.
No. Really?
It's great, man.
I gotta
it's
watch.
so funny.
Those are yeah. I only started recording the videos of them recently, but
There's something so good about them. There's something so
it's gratifying.
fulfilling about them.
Yeah.
Popping slabs, man.
Yeah.
Popping slabs.
Ooh, pop slabs.
That's a good segment.
From the Collecting Is Tight theme song.
Yeah.
Beats by Peter, our friend.
Well, that's what we got to do. Is we got to get you guys to make me a beat now for cracking slabs.
Oh, there you go, Peter.
Already. It's already made.
Got thousands of.
Just sample some like cracking sounds and.
Oh my God.
I sample. Yeah, I sample shit all the time from the house. Yeah, whatever. I sample it up.
Peter, we were in the middle of your show and tell. Yeah.
Just wanted to flash. You mentioned Dark City. I own that on VHS. I have a sick VHS collection actually.
Oh wow.
For anybody who's like interested in VHSs, it's still alive. I fully appreciate the medium.
No, Burke might want those, bro.
Oh yeah.
I know. I was chatting with him a little bit.
You definitely would want that MD Geist for sure.
Yeah, like a lot of this.
What is that?
Shit is properties that you can't really find anymore. I mean, I think I've actually encountered MD Geist streaming somewhere, but this is just a crazy anime that's like it's just I'm way into the mecha shit, and so like that was a formative one that I caught on like Saturday Anime way back in the day on Sci-Fi Channel.
I don't know if you caught that one on Saturday Anime.
Yeah,
you don't think?
It's pretty. That one's got some stuff in it.
Yeah, I know.
Is that worth anything? Because I used to have it.
The VHS.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably worth it to like you and me kind of stuff. You know, somebody might buy it from you. Yeah, 10, 20 bucks.
No.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
And you look so cool with your 3D glasses, dude.
The utilitarian. Don't worry about it.
Well, along those lines, this was like what I actually arrived at. You got to go for my absolute favorite between Bagley and like comics, Masamune Shiro or Shiro Masamune, Ghost in the Shell guy. This is his other book.
Appleseed lit.
Appleseed.
Tank Police, Dominion Tank Police, them cat girls, the Puma sisters. I love that.
It's the most unbelievable art. I mean, the guy.
I know nothing about this world, you guys. Man, this is in my vein turning me on to it.
Yeah, I mean, Shiro is just, to me, like, he's just the god of just, like, that really quick, gestural, masterful. He's also just, in terms of, like, mechanical design and, like, mecha, I really look to him as, like, kind of the main dude. I know a lot of, there are a lot of other creators that are famous for that, but to me, he just has the coolest style. Just incredible, impeccable line work. Like, can't beat it. Katsuhiro Otomo level to me.
I mean, yeah, that looked amazing.
Yeah, he's a master to me. So I just wanted to share that because that's like kind of like my home base. Is like
I love Appleseed.
Yeah, that's like what the kind of shit I came up on.
They actually had a Dominion Tank Police was up on eBay, and I was gonna try and like snake it out, but that shit went for $250, and it was small for me. Wow. It was like a 21-inch in the pits by 27. That's a Japanese XL on a fashion victim tag, but it had the two cat sisters on the front. Woof!
Fire. Tank Police is so good. If you've never seen that, that's like just
those erectocaki mines that turn into fucking dicks.
So
erectocaki.
Yes. Yeah. Like not even suggestively, just total wacky town kind of sci-fi. I love that genre of just like explosions and mecha for mecha's sake. I mean, like Gunsmith Cats, Cutie Honey kind of stuff where the theme is more like a little wacky. I appreciate that in most genre. Like I love high fantasy, and
I need to check out some more of those.
Parts.
I've got a lot of movie time now.
Yeah, doggy. Animes for days. I mean, not to go too otaku on everything, but
I mean, I love it because I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to diversify my nerdery.
So much, man. You already know.
Endless.
That's why this is great, because I learned a lot more about independent comic stuff that I had no idea about, and I share a little more anime vibe with the whole zone.
Hey, Will, thanks a lot for coming, man. If you got to pop out.
Yeah, I gotta hop out and do dinner with the fam here shortly. But
I feel you.
But yeah,
we'd love to have you on to have like the flea market portion of the show every week, because you've got a lot of stuff, man.
Bring out like a random box and we'll just flip through it.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, that's not a bad idea.
Hell
that's not a bad idea. I'll have to do that.
All right, Will. Thank you so much, man. And thanks again for publishing my work.
Yes, sir. No, thanks for submitting. So
yeah, man.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right, later, Will. Oh wow, Chris Pitzer. This is great. Chris Pitzer is a publisher of Ad House Books.
Cool.
And
Chris, welcome, man.
There we go.
Hey, Chris, we hear you.
Hey.
Welcome, man.
Thanks.
All right, we're doing some show and tell. We have a very special guest this week, ladies and gentlemen. The very man who created me, Douglas Schwab, my father, created my love of comic books. Now, I do have a question, Douglas. Since you're here, you're my father. It's your fault, all of this. My love of comics, my constant spending of money on books. What was your first comic that you can remember? What first got you into comics? Number 2, tell everyone about your Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers days. And then...
Oh, yes.
Yes. So what was the first comic you remember getting?
Well, when I was a kid, I used to watch the George Reeves Superman. Started in black and white and went over to color. And that kind of started my whole love for Superman because he was real to me.
Yeah.
And so I started buying Superman comics pretty early. Not in 1938, however, but
where did you buy them in Cumberland at that time? There was
my friend Lee had a bookstore. We probably bought them all there. They had a lot of comics back then. The guy who owns a bookstore now, and his father had the store before him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They were on the stand, the twirly stands, like the one we bought you, and So, although I did not collect this one at the time, this is one of my favorites: Superman versus Muhammad Ali, and it's the whole cover. So
art by Neil Adams on that one, and a lot of people like layered in there. There's like Cher on the cover, Sonny and Cher.
Layered. I thought he did Ninja Turtles.
No, Cher.
And Superman salutes the bicentennial.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That was probably
good. This one.
Oh, the first one of all time. Anything you want to tell everyone about that book in particular?
Yeah, you've seen this before, right?
What's that one? That's a reprint?
Yeah, that's a 50th anniversary.
Douglas does own an
Action 1.
Yeah. That's the star of his collection.
Yep. It's pretty cool.
9.2?
Now, 2003. In 2003, I had a quadruple bypass surgery. And I was sitting on my ass for a long time, and I decided that I had to buy this thing. And it's gone up a lot since I bought it. Yeah. It's not the $1 million version, so it's a repaired copy.
Right.
But it's a 9.0 repaired, so it's pretty nice.
Still pretty amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And buying it a long time ago, it definitely the value has gone up, and that was a great deal then. So.
Awesome.
Actually, the guy took it off of eBay, so we didn't have to pay the eBay charges.
Nice. Okay, so then after Superman, you moved to Philadelphia. You grew your hair out, ganja, and the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers.
It actually, when I came back to town, I was what was I? I was
Fat Freddy.
Fat Freddy, yeah. I was fat then, or fatter then.
Yeah, you were.
And
you
my
had
hair
the
was
hair
like Fat
everything.
Freddy, yeah. So there was 3 of us who were the Fabulous Freak Brothers, and it was enjoyable. Somewhere around here, I have my Freddy pin. I don't know.
And there's a cartoon now. I just sent you the other day. The guys from the Workaholics, and it's like John Goodman.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's John Goodman. Woody Harrelson plays Fat Freddy's cat or something.
Oh, nice.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Wait, what?
It looks
the
really
Fabulous
good.
Furry Freak Brothers cartoon.
They just put out a teaser for it, I think, today.
I think the first episode is out.
The whole episode?
Yeah.
It's on Hulu or something?
I don't know. I think it's on YouTube or something.
Well, I'll have to watch it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
So,
Do you remember the first time you bought me a comic or anything? Do you remember any of that? It was Turtles for sure. I remember for my birthday as a kid, you bought me a subscription for comics at the book center.
The bribe for Eli to do anything was to get him a Ninja Turtle action figure, which are still over here in the case. the tub
the stairs
that they were in, which is about 3
So
feet
that went into comics as well, Turtle Comics.
It did.
And I remember one very interesting day at Walmart where I was like, please, can we get a turtle thing? And you're like, I did. Boom. And it was turtle wax for the car. And I was like, smart.
Oh, dads and their sense of humor.
Classic dad joke right
Classic
there.
dad.
Yeah.
Nice dad move, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you came. I told the guys like that maybe if you did come, I would feel like I wasn't going to be able to be myself, but I don't feel like that actually.
You did.
Oh yeah, you got to be yourself.
Yeah.
Should I show them the computer museum while I'm at it?
Oh, Douglas, sure. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You're here, man.
All right.
Dad has been a computer programmer since there was that programming punch cards and Mac Plus.
Yep. So how many guys can guess how big that hard drive is?
Wow.
I can't.
32 meg.
Like 32 meg.
32 meg. Yeah.
And it's the size of like a briefcase, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So big.
You can see this Rosenbaum's is a family store that was in town, but I collect cell phones.
That Tenacious D phone is
There's,
definitely
of course,
Dad's, not mine.
Yeah. The Mac
20th anniversary.
20th anniversary.
Oh,
Mac.
sorry.
It's all
Look
right.
at that mad AOL CD.
Fire.
Yep. And then down here are all the old Mac things, and
Jimi Hendrix, one of the first things Dot Matrix
Jimi
printed.
Hendrix, that's Eli's.
Nice.
It's in digital, pretty cool. And there's the old Apples, my first laptop, Toshiba. These are devices that we used to have at our plant to collect data. This is pretty cool.
Look at all that. Oh, is that a tape deck?
What's that?
Is that a tape deck?
These are tapes, computer tapes, and this is my first computer I ever owned. My father's slide rule from Lehigh.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, first programming book, Fortran 4.
Wow.
Apple IIc manuals.
Crazy.
Yeah, basic,
Awesome.
Microsoft Basic, multiplan. See, it's the
There's
computer.
a Newton
room.
up there.
Oh yeah, Newton. And then
Dad one time had to show, he had a meeting and people were coming in to show off this like giant AS400 computer. And Dad's joke was it wasn't full yet. So instead he put me inside this computer. And so he was showing the people, like, he's like, take a look inside this computer. And he took off this panel and it was like, I was in there. There was a human nose in there. And people were like, what the?
Sorry. So, yep, that's it. All right.
Well, you won show and tell, Dad.
I won. All right, guys.
Thanks so much for coming.
Sure. I hope you enjoyed it, and someday we'll show the action one.
Back when civilization returns to.
Yeah, good God. Hopefully
so. I can get in the damn bank. All right.
All right, Dad.
See you guys.
See you. Thanks so much for coming.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Have fun, man.
That was sweet, guys.
That was awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, dads are cool, man.
Dads are cool.
They are.
Well, so I want to welcome Chris Pitzer to the podcast, the ZoomCast, the publisher of Ad House Books, who is right now sitting in a incredibly curated zine comic magazine warehouse library. I'm sure that we would all give anything to sift through.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah. Is there anything? Did I tell you that it was going to be a show and tell? Did you bring anything that you wanted to show off?
I can show off anything you want, really. I mean, it's almost all within reach. So if you say something, I'll go grab it.
Well, one amazing thing that we've been talking about, Chris, and you posted the video, is the like symposium that you hosted with Matt Wagner in the 80s.
Right.
And you had there was a full gallery of original art, cover art, some of the those Grendel covers that were like Dave McKean used to do, where it was like kind of like a 3-dimensional thing.
Yep.
Now, is some of that Matt Wagner stuff still that you have, or
what
covers
really,
your collection?
Yeah, the one photo, and you know, dads are great, and if my dad hadn't been there, I wouldn't have any photos of this event, right?
Oh, nice.
And he
Perfect.
took one photo of Matt and myself, and there was a cover between us. And I don't know, 10, 15 years after the event, I reached out to Matt. I was like, Matt, you know, I don't really have a piece of art from you that I really like. Is that cover still available? His dealer still had it. It just amazed me. So we did the deal. So, I mean, that's, you know, I collect a lot of Grendel just because so many artists work with Grendel.
Yeah.
But that's the sweet piece for me. And I can show it to you if you want me to try and figure out how to do that.
Yeah, we'd love to see it.
Yes. Let me see if I can.
I mean,
and you're right.
The entire wall is beautiful.
The Dave McKean-esque, where there's all these X-Acto knives.
Oh,
forks.
wow.
Yeah, see the X-Actos?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
What issue is that? 17?
I said 19, but it could be
19.
17.
The like in between years, Ben, right?
It's his Harvey Kurtzman riff, you know?
Right. Oh yeah, that whole issue is like 30 panels per page or something like that. It's like insane.
I need to reread that. I haven't read it in a long time.
It's really good. I love all that. Me and Ben are knocking around the idea of doing a Grendel reread podcast.
The new shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not Grendel.
Wait, what?
I said Vivat.
Yeah, Vivat.
Vivat.
Oh, there's Brouwers. Sweet. All right. That's awesome, Chris. I'm honored you came. Ad House Books is the publisher of the Outhouse of books. Ad House Books publishes a lot of great stuff, including a lot of the work of Jim Rugg. You kind of helped him get started, and also it seems like you got Canker. That's going to be a pretty big hit coming up.
Yeah, I brought that to show and tell.
Oh nice. My gosh! See, this is. Do you feel that the kayfabe effect has helped with this as well?
You know. Maybe, yeah, I mean, a little bit, but his fan base is rabid already.
Yeah. What's the artist's name again?
Matthew Allison.
Okay.
And I don't know how much you paid attention, but like, for instance, he, I think, put 40 copies up online for sale today, and they were sold out in like 5 minutes or something.
I was trying to see that. I was trying to like catch that too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
that's the end papers?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah, he's a little out there.
Oh my God. Oh wow, that looks like under my desk.
It's a little kayfabe. It's a little, you know, just him being him. It's, you know, word of mouth. You know, he's been going to all these shows forever. He's built his fan base. He's put out the comics himself. So this was going to be our, you know, big push into the direct market, Amazon, everywhere, and fucking, you know, COVID-19 just messes everything up.
God,
I'm still sitting with them in the warehouse. You know, they Hamlin has a few. My local comic shop has gone through 15 copies, I think.
Oh wow!
No, I'm sorry, 30 copies. 30 copies.
So you were able to still get it to them for the like curbside pickup stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're selling them online and curbside, and I think Hamlin might put some up this weekend.
Oh man,
but
I'm trying to get one.
Yeah, and you know, it's like the media mail shipment just has been weird. It's taken forever to get to Matthew, and I sent him 2 boxes, and he only has 1. So.
Oh man, so like one is just in the mail at this time.
Yeah. The one that's missing, actually, this is more show and tell. Have you seen this yet?
No, Canker stick-ons.
Yeah. So what this is? Do you remember seeing ads in the old comics? And this is like, you know, before you were reading comics, so you'd have to go back and get the old comics.
Yeah.
But these kids would put stickers on their walls, on their jean jackets, on their notebooks. All you all are probably too young to know what I'm talking about, right?
I'm aware.
Like color forms?
Yeah.
Well, no, it was an ad that appeared everywhere.
Yeah.
And Marvel had an ad, and DC had an ad. Well, I saw this ad, you know, my whole life growing up reading comics, and I never saw any freaking stick-ons. Well, I was like, I'm going to go look for stick-ons. So I finally went and looked for stick-ons. I got one. If I could reach it, I'd pull it out and show you.
Yeah.
But it's Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman, all in these exact same design.
Oh, wow.
And so when you get the book, you'll see there's actually a page in here where he does the same thing. He recreates the ad. I should have had that marked. But no, he's wearing all his comic love on his sleeves with this thing.
Had he had books before this? What was he publishing before this? Or was this kind of like his big?
So here's the ad.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's what it would have looked like in your, regular comic, but it would have been like Batman, Flash.
And he kind of remade the old advertisement too with that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Look at that.
So I was like, originally we were going to do like a membership kit thing with the stick-ons, trading cards, a mask.
Oh, wow.
And then we can't go to shows. So the only thing that got made was the stick-ons. And they're really cool. And there's only like 100 of them. But we'll put them up for sale eventually too.
Awesome. And you'll have them at your Ad House Books site.
Yeah. I'm trying to be fair with the direct market because they've supported us all these years. I don't really want to sell something before they have a chance to sell it. So I kind of took the line of I'm going to wait to sell them on the Ad House site once stores get them. So
interesting.
I guess middle June now.
And so you're in an interesting position that none of us are really able to see, that is dealing with the direct market and dealing with how COVID is impacting comic shops and distribution. And like, what have you seen so far other than this canker that you were talking about? And like, how do you foresee it moving forward for you?
Well, it's supposedly opening up like in 2 weeks. And by opening up, it means we can ship to Diamond again.
And that's national. That's not a state.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's nationally based. Their big thing is their warehouse. They want to make sure their warehouses can, work and take the product and, ship the product. Everything they do, distribute the product. And so they took the stance. They shut everything down. They stopped paying checks. They started paying checks again. And like I said, in 2 weeks, they should take new product. But, under their advice, I'm waiting a bit. I don't want to be in that first initial glut because I want our book to stand out. And I'd rather it have a little bit more of a spotlight than being with everything else that Marvel and DC wants to put out in those first couple weeks.
Right.
So that's why we're waiting just a little bit more.
Do you feel like those big publishers are going to do like a splurge and like try to put out a couple issues, like,
Yeah, I don't know. I know that, Geppy and a few other people from like IDW and Boom have been on podcasts, but I haven't like listened to them or anything. So I don't know what their plans are really.
Yeah.
Yep,
and
it's
then,
actually on tonight.
And then, the
live.
whole thing with DC is so fucking weird going with that other distributor.
Right. Because they had new comics out this week. DC did.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I paid a little bit of attention, but supposedly like their first initial offering, from what I understand, was crap, wasn't it?
I didn't get to even see. I mean, I haven't been to my store.
Well, I don't think it's been like, not like this week, but like when they first, made their offering to the direct market, I felt like it was all this old stock that Walmart already had. So it wasn't like anything brand new. It was just like, oh, we've got this stuff in the back. Let's ship them that.
Yeah, like
I might be wrong. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I just remember seeing the list of books that came out this week were all DC. That's all I knew. I didn't see any Marvel jammies.
Yeah, because Marvel hasn't been doing anything, and it seemed like IDW. I know from listening to the Turtles artist that I follow, Sophie Campbell, was saying that it all stopped, and then now Tom Waltz mentioned the other day, IDW's back in action. The Last Ronin, the new Turtle story, like people are working on stuff again. So, I mean, that's positive, I guess, and it's respectful that you're waiting, like you said, that you're respecting the direct market and that you're going with the stores. So, I mean,
yeah, the only time we don't do that is if we're at a festival, because you want to celebrate. Right. And it's a weird dichotomy. You want to have that new book at a festival so it gets word of mouth. So it's kind of like not even sales. It's more like press.
Press, yeah.
So,
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And you want to get it out so then everyone can be like, oh, put that on my pull list, and then all the stores will order more or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, you hope so.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
I haven't been online tonight. Has the Jim Rugg thing come out yet?
What Jim Rugg thing? Like that? He's got a new book that he announced.
I got an email from Jim because we've been working on this project back and forth trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I'll give you some breaking news. And
yes.
He supposedly started a Kickstarter by accident this afternoon.
What?
So the next project where we're going to be working on together, he's Kickstartering it as if Kickstarter is like the new direct market. So yeah, if you check it out, I mean, it's really impressive. I kind of laughed when he was like, I didn't mean to start it. I wanted you to see it before it went live, but it all looks okay.
And it's up right now?
Yeah, it should be, unless he found a way to take it down and stop it. But I can't imagine he would do that because
Fluorescent Blacklight Outlaw comic book by Jim Rugg.
You didn't hear it from me.
Oh my God! What?
If
Wait.
it comes out, just say you've got this Jim Rugg Google search that happens every day.
Dude, it says KickTrack. That's like some other website that like keeps track of Kickstarters. This is like when I click it, it doesn't even link to actual Kickstarter.
I found the Kickstarter page though. That's at the top of the search.
Holy shit balls!
Yeah. So we're gonna do this.
Doing Octobriana. Oh wow.
Neon inks. Yeah. Octobriana.
So that's what he was talking about. Like, is he trying to print those inks on black paper or something like that?
No, it'll be on white paper, but we've been like going through the process of trying to do it right, and we finally got the printer to agree to double hits of the neon ink.
Oh my God!
So it's a double pass so that you can get the saturation.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. Because if it was a single, I mean, that'd be okay. But when you do double, I mean, that's if you look at a PMS book, they always say do double.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Although a lot of printers will tell you, "Oh, you can't do that," and it's
right, and that's what they told us. They were like registration.
Yeah,
and we're like, okay. Jim's like, what if you put it on a 7-color press?
Yeah.
Would that work? And they finally agreed to it, so hopefully it'll be okay.
Oh wow, man! So you can like for $500, you get like a concept drawing, you get a print edition, you get all this stuff. The highest one for $1,000, you get the cover art for free.
And that cover is fucking awesome, man.
It's like a face.
Yeah, the screaming face, man.
Yeah, it's amazing. This other one is one that he did, which is like
the poster.
Yeah.
It's a great choice of character too, because you not only have a public domain character that you can just mess around with, but it's got a legacy. So.
Real quick, guys, here we go. We'll do a quick screen share. Here's the Kickstarter.
Yeah, nice.
And look at that.
Damn,
that's what started it. That poster he did with Telegraph Gallery. That's what I wanted the comic to be. I wanted to be about her, but he couldn't really find a story, so he came up with this one instead, which, like you said, is probably a better idea.
Wow. That is awesome.
Awesome.
Yes, everyone's going to back this project now.
Yeah.
It's already got $200 back, so someone's looking at it. That's so cool. Cool. We had some breaking news. I got to really edit fast and get it out tomorrow so that I'm still breaking. We're still breaking.
Breaking Bad.
Now, Chris, one final question here. It looks like you're sitting in front of some amazing artworks framed on the wall there. Is that a Paul Pope right behind you?
Yeah. That's the cover to one of the THB comics we did.
Oh, wow.
He gave that to me at San Diego Comic-Con when he came to the table to do a signing.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, here's your chair. Here's your books. Now, where's that piece of art?
Oh, that's awesome, man. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's weird because like I've gotten to the age where I know I have to start letting stuff go. So I just sold. I only had one copy of the Napoleon print, which he did.
Oh wow!
It's that young lady who's wearing the mask and she's laying down on her back with like one leg up or something. And a guy in Italy like just kept asking me about it, and so I finally parted with that. So it's kind of sad, but
yeah,
can't take it with me, man.
Yep. I hear you.
Yeah, Paul Pope. It's tough to see, but that's a Dave Cooper from
Ooh, nice.
Suckle or Crumple.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Hold on.
Sick.
But yeah, this is my gallery wall. You know, we moved into a mid-century modern home, and you just don't have walls.
Yeah. There's like wood, or there's
windows. You know.
Oh yeah, right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got my lights on, so there's a glare. But that's a Dave Cooper.
Holy shit.
He did it for a telecom company in Canada, but then we used it in Telstar.
So sick.
Damn.
Yeah. And what else? Oh yeah, my mom did this paint by number of the clown.
Oh man, that's like a hobo clown. Is if it was played by Bill Murray.
Emmett Kelly. Yeah.
Sorry about that. That's wrong. I'm gonna cut that out.
I always wanted a Bob Larkin piece, and so I found this one.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Captain America at a gallery showing.
Looks like he's looking at
Looking out of the grid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Nice. Susan.
That's Dave Cooper also, or is that?
Yeah, Dave Cooper and Pat McCune.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane the amount of detail they put onto these pages. And I mean, there's so many pages where they just they never let up.
Oh my God. That's from the Grendel Tales of her, right?
Yep. And I've got a fan letter in one of those issues.
That's one of the Brian Lee Sung covers.
This is this appeared in Cycle.
Is that Bernie?
And this is Bernie Moreau.
Oh yeah.
Might be like one of my favorite artists of all time.
Oh yeah. I was so psyched that I got that comic in Wizard of his.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
He I tried to work with him a bunch. I helped him get online, and I helped him set up his Facebook and a TeePublic store, and I'm trying to publish his collected jam. I keep chatting with him about it, but we'll see.
Well, I hope it happens.
Me too.
I think it would be a fast finish on the Kickstarter for sure.
Oh my God!
Did you read To Get Her?
I didn't get to read that. No.
Oh yeah, you should check that out.
Yeah. Did you publish that, or he published it? Self-published it.
I helped him distribute it.
Okay.
So I would get orders, and then he'd send me copies, and then I'd ship them out, and then I'd send him money. And it was funny because he, put this bait out there that whoever sells the most copies, he made this award out of cardboard, and he would give you that award. And there's some freaking store that, 30 minutes from where he lived that just kept moving copies and copies and copies. So I think I was like the second best seller.
Oh man, that's awesome.
But I love Bernie's stuff. I love the jam.
Man, me too. He did a pinup for my second comic. I was just so psyched that he did it.
Was it digital?
It was digital, yeah. They colored it, and oh man, it was awesome.
Yeah, just the way I think he still works in Flash, right?
I think so. Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, just all his lines are like the same, width or
it's amazing.
Precision. I love it.
Oh, he's so precise. And, and that comic that he did for Wizard, he didn't do it for Wizard, but that we published in Wizard it's so clean and crisp, and those lines of the jam and all those other characters, very Woodringy.
Yeah, every time I see a copy of the jam, I almost want to buy it just to take to a show and sell to someone, but I've got to stop doing that. I have too many copies of the jam.
Yeah, I do that for sure. When I interviewed Mike Allred, he told me his favorite comic was that The Jam, the super color infused, enhanced, mega whatever. Yeah. And that's a Kamiko. Totally yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good.
It's just, Bernie was absorbing, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, Wally Wood. He's influenced by all those greats. And so the sum of the parts creates a fantastic comic. Now, I did a homage of the jam running with his dog, holding a slice of pizza. I really want to find that so I can put that on the internet for people to see.
You drew it?
Yeah, I drew it back in the day when I would draw more.
Nice. He's such an the jam is such an interesting character, and there's really not a ton for us to get, and it's not easy to get, and it kept moving from publisher to publisher.
Character is.
Wait a minute. I showed you I posted the cover I got from him at San Diego.
Oh, let's see that.
You saw that, right?
I don't think so. I mean, because there's a couple Matt Wagner covers too of the Jam.
I do recognize that.
Oh my God, that's original art too.
This is original art. It's on the back of a sketch pad.
Yeah.
And so there's all these notes on the inside cover and everywhere else. But what happened is he sold this to me at like 90 or 91 Comic-Con. And then like 2 years later, Tundra puts out their series and he recreates this in a different design.
Wow.
Same idea, help get me out of this store.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
Man, this color is faded on my mat board. That used to be orange up there.
Beautiful.
But yeah, no, I designed like a backer card for an action figure, and I wanted to get some toy guy to customize a Jam action figure for me.
Oh, that'd be sick.
And then he kind of went away, so it's on the back burner now.
Yeah.
Get like a figure art style one.
Of the Jam, that'd be so sick. With like the actual fabric, like as the green and
then that'd be more like
a little sewing machine.
Oh my God, it'd be amazing.
The Jam as a Mego figure is really the optimal.
Oh, Mego Jam.
Because then you do get into all the weird materials.
That'd be amazing.
That would be there's some really excellent customizers out there, Chris. So you could get like 10 different high quality Migos that would all look a little different and have a different take on it.
What started it is my my love of The Last Starfighter. And so
nice.
This guy like custom did these figures and backer board and everything. So it's like
awesome.
I think he's the guy I was going to have do these small type things. So I had the template already, but then he kind of disappeared.
Dang. I want that Jam figure now. Well, I was just psyched that I got Bernie to do the TeePublic store so that we could all wear Jam T-shirts and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I slept on that. Is that still available, or is that?
Yeah, done? It's still there. Bernie Moreau, TeePublic. Yeah, I'll send you the link.
Cool. Yeah, I should get one.
Yeah.
I think the price kept me away at first.
Yeah. Well, you can get the sales where they're like $14, and I even got them to make the uniform shirt. Unfortunately, they don't do green hoodies, but there's a green T-shirt with the triangle.
No, if I got one, that's the one I need to get. I got to get the uniform. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. All right, cool. Chris, thank you so much. We're going to move to our next.
This was...
Absolutely, man. Thank
you for coming on.
Honestly, the Zoom format is amazing for what we're doing, what we can do for growing this podcast and the vodcast, and it's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we all have amazing collections. That's such a big part of like being a comic fan. And it's and only you can have that collection. Only you could have curated something like that, so everyone's got this singular, beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's all about curation, man.
Exactly. And stop forest fires.
By the way, Pitzer, do you have the I just got this because I know you're a big Hinge guy. I got the 3 posters.
Oh, no, I can see the yellow, the pink, the orange. Yeah.
Whoa, your background's messing with it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can turn it off.
But we can see it. Yeah.
If you're gonna stick around, I'll put that on the show and tell.
Yeah, they I got a set. It's at a point I built this garage for my collection in the warehouse, and out in the warehouse I had all these blank walls. So I started collecting what I called garage art, and so it's where it's not real expensive, although I do have some expensive things out there, but it's more just a blank canvas to put up the weird stuff. And Hinge is up there, along with a few other, like I think the Steranko Talon poster and the Paul Galassi print.
All the original super graphic stuff is so amazing.
Oh, I know. It's like I fucking have placed 3 orders through that website and have gotten nothing.
Right.
Oh, man.
But
I bet you if you saw Steranko though at a show and you told him, he might like be going, "Oh yeah, they're right here," like because he has like pounds and pounds of that stuff. I hear
Oh, I know. And now I've got a great Steranko story from Baltimore Comic-Con last year, but I'll save it for the next time.
Ah, nice. Yeah, we're gonna try to do these every week, so we'd love to have you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just what is it? It's almost 10 p.m.
Oh wow. It goes. Time goes, man.
Yeah, it's right.
Well, I want to get to Christian before we go, and I want to get to Greg. And so Christian honestly is an amazing artist. He did the new art for Can I Thwipp It that we're amazingly psyched on. Does a comic called Narbonne and had the first comic of Wizard. When you turned it in, it was exactly what I wanted to open Wizard with, because it was kind of like you do kind of like a notebook comic kind of thing. And so it was kind of that feel, talking about kayfabe, and then like introducing your comic. So I just thought it was the perfect way to open up Wizard after the Ed, Jim, Tom interviews. And so we can see your work behind you. You seemingly work nonstop. You have like it seems like you started doing caricatures and then, grew your art from there. So what'd you bring? What you working on? What's up?
What's up, man?
Good to have you.
Again. Thanks again for having me here, but also in the Wizard book, of course.
Yeah,
so
dude.
Awesome. I actually have a show and tell piece that is of my character, but coincidentally or serendipitously, it's by Matthew Allison.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Holy shit, that's sick.
That's sick. Yeah.
He's gnarly. So awesome. So I really am looking forward to Cancor. Can't wait.
Oh, that's so cool.
So, yeah,
that's
super
awesome.
stoked. So that's my little, Miley character you see there. So I love comics that have the pinups of all the characters by all the different artists. Like Hellboy's great, a bunch of cool.
Like the back swag.
Yeah, that's so cool. So I always try to get a ton of other people's renditions.
Oh, nice.
Right.
So of all those, who have you gotten that you thought was like the number one? And then who are you like still striving for? Oh, wow.
There's always, some good ones to.
Whoa, Keith Giffen? Is that what it said?
No.
Oh, I was like, what?
There's always some holy grails out there.
Oh, yeah.
This guy, Javier Guerrero.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
He's on Instagram, but sick. It's like
incredible.
Awesome ink.
And so that's from your book Narbonne, or that's from a different book? That's from a book, Motley and Harv.
Yeah, Motley and Harv.
Okay.
So these will be in the next one.
Nice.
So.
Wow.
And
did you reach out to Jim trying to get one? Oh wow. Oh, that's like sick.
Sweet.
Beautiful, man.
Love it.
So did you go to like a caricature school, or like how is that kind of style taught? Where did you start with that?
That's how I've been making my living, is drawing caricatures for the last, 20 years basically.
Oh wow. At where? Where, like boardwalk or?
Sometimes at the Santa Cruz boardwalk in the summertime.
Wow.
It's like you can't beat drawing right there on the beach, literally.
Yeah.
It's a tough gig, but somebody's got to do it. And but yeah, just theme parks, and I travel around. The most lucrative way to do it until a month ago is to travel around and do it at cons, Comic Cons, or at fairs and festivals.
Right.
Wow.
So,
that's sick, dude. So you did you always want to make comics, and then you found the caricature style to be more lucrative, or did it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
The kind of comics that my style lends itself to, there's no money in really compared to what you can make in storyboarding or drawing caricatures live somewhere. So
you sell your books at cons, but then you also do caricatures of people. But because it seems like with characters, there's like this style that's like recognized that is just, okay, this is like what characters are across the board. How did that?
I mean, I started with Tom Richmond, who's, big Mad Magazine.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He kind of established that style pretty solidly, him and a few other guys at like Six Flags and a couple other theme parks. And that's kind of the high watermark for everybody to shoot for. So because he's such a great teacher, his influence, his ripple effect has reached, thousands of live artists.
That's interesting. And then it's like, that's, when people see that, they immediately know or recognize it, because like, not a noob, but like not a deep comic head, if you see that art, you're like, oh, I immediately recognize that guy can draw me perfectly. And it like, I mean, obviously judging from the art that you did for Kenneth Thwipp, Manus and I, you nailed so many little things, including like Manus said, his snaggletooth.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, it's just amazing. I'm gonna try to, that's what she said, get it up here, but so that you guys can, everyone can see it.
I guess so.
All right, because it's done so well. All right, here we go.
Share it.
All right, yeah. So look, I basically just said I'm Silver Surfer and this is Spider-Man.
That's so cool.
Did I give you any other?
You just said have fun, and I knew about the Ween and the Turtles, obviously, and I threw a little cosmic line.
Oh my God, I know, it's so sick.
I think I said traditional. Is this watercolor?
I didn't see the fucking cosmic line. I didn't notice.
Oh yeah,
creeping in the back.
You do it all.
Nice.
I think I said that I wanted us to be like at a bar or drinking or something. Yeah.
London's bar, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, I love it so much.
So good.
That was a ton of fun. Yeah, thanks again, man.
Oh yeah, well thank you, dude. Look, Ween.
Christian, is that traditional or did you do that? Is that digital?
It was drawn in ink and colored in Photoshop.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's like it's almost got a cool watercolor effect. You're obviously quite skilled with the Photoshop
and the layering and the textures and stuff.
Yeah.
Look, Manus.
Yo, great zoom on that. Yeah.
There it is.
I love that. Like, get braces, stupid. You can do it. But I'm like, fuck it. I love my snaggletooth. Until my two front teeth have been chipped in my life, and I was eating chicken wings waiting for Eli one day, and I chipped it because of the snaggletooth.
Because of Eli.
Yeah, I guess so.
And chicken wings.
Chicken wings.
World's greatest food.
Christian,
I just secret origin.
Just real quick, not to hop in too much, but I wanted to ask you, like, what you think, like, what do you attribute your ability to really capture someone's likeness to the most? Is it drawing people for 20 years, or is there something that you can point to that, like, allows you to sort of capture those, features and make it just accurate but exaggerated? What would you say?
It's all about the likeness. Like, obviously doing it for 20 years doesn't hurt. But I go back to Tom Richmond's kind of like foundation as far as it's all about the relationships between the features. And getting at least the shape of each feature and the angle and how they all interrelate, the features interrelate to each other.
Yeah.
And, the negative space in between the features, it's.
Do you feel like it's like in the eyes, or is it like, is there a certain?
Important, but it's like, if it's mostly about the shapes. That's why I love like Magnola.
Yep.
And
it's all shapes of Magnola. Yeah.
See Wyeth is strong with shapes. It's like,
oh yeah.
If you can do some nice detail, it's great. But if it's tied to correct dynamic shapes, then that really.
Yeah.
Foundation.
Shapes as a foundation. That's I like that as an answer for sure.
Yeah, and finding those things like the snaggletooth or the cheeks or the that thing that people's eyes go to immediately.
Snaggletooth.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
and it's like when drawing like Jim and Ed or whatever, it's always like, Ed's the glasses and the hat.
Yeah.
And then Jim, I find Jim very hard to draw because of his jaw, his hairline is a big one. Because it's like if either of those two things are off, it's right. I've been thinking about this because I try to draw one of the YouTube covers that they talk about.
Yeah, Avatar.
Did you do one? I love your notebook comics, dude. I was super honored that Wizard was in there when you posted that day. That was really cool.
Here's a tiny.
Yeah, see, you have to go super simple. Like, Jim is like a little boy, and it is like a loud pair of sunglasses
with almost a Howard Chaykin haircut.
Yeah. Sweet. Kristen, thank you so much, man. Honestly,
thank you. Yeah.
Huge thank you for the art. We're going to just use it every issue now.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's my Insta profile.
Yeah. It's our new podcast Insta profile as well.
You should make your profile the Silver Surfer.
Oh, there it is, dude.
You should chop it out.
Yes. Cheers, Eli. Woo. That's my name. Sweet. Thanks so much, dude. So Greg, I guess. How you doing, man? Gregory Giordano, artist, featured in a zine that I just recently got from Steve Bissett, a Mad Max. Where am I?
Yeah, that Colleen Frakes did.
Yeah, this amazing pinup here.
Thanks, man.
Wow.
Greg has an amazing talent with the textures and the scribbliness, and is working with me a lot on this Image Grand Disaster book that we're working on, the new bootleg comic.
The book that was
Cosmic Lion Comics.
You're calling it Grand Disaster?
There's two different sides of it. There's
you read the one and it's designed that Eli, Rocco, Rick Lopez, and Ben are doing this incredible task of editing and making work. You flip it over, and then there's Image Grand Disaster, which is essentially the post-apocalyptic Rashomon tail end to the book.
Okay, cool.
Excellent. I mean, their book ends with the apocalypse, right? The zombie plague.
Sure.
Pitched by Ed in his.
Right. Ours is 3 months later or 6 months later, and it's a bunch of losers and weirdos and D-listers living in a bunker saved by a superhero, and they're basically scooping up survivors from the surface and bringing them down there to
spending most of their time drinking and smoking bongs
and basically talking shit about what they did with Spawn or who they did that to or whatever. And
that's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
And it was a way to very, very quickly deal with the fact that when the project was announced and people could submit, there was a bunch of people that said, oh yeah, I've got this thing, and it was not in any way in the continuity and the piss core method, and it was unrelated, but you don't want to say don't do it.
Right.
So ultimately the solution was, figure out
have a second
book. It in, and then
Yeah.
I came up with a storyline, and it was off to the races. So it was a great place to put the outlaw people who didn't want to stick to the school rules. And then so you got the incredible job of the one side of the book, and then you get the mutants in the other side of the book.
That's cool.
The mutants, the super freaks.
You guys
So Mike,
like those old, like a Marvel Comics Presents or like a
or like a Caliber Presents anthology or
nice
whatever. And Michael,
a lot of Free Comic Book Days books have been doing that too.
I just wanted to mention Michael Wagner is we're co-editing that half of the book, and he does Free Fall Press, and he's edited over 40
another
anthologies.
Vermonter.
Another now he's Texan, but been living in Vermont for a while. So so
his look is Texas Vermont for sure.
Yeah, he's a Tex Maple, right?
That's good.
So you're a great artist, but you've also been a collector forever too. So
yeah.
You brought some original work that you wanted to show.
I have artwork that I can flash by just real fast. I'm just gonna, here's a couple of Holy Grail or Grails that came through. I don't know if this is shown.
Nice. Yeah. That's hard to find.
Really hard to find. And it was, I have Jim Rugg to thank for reminding me because he mentioned it and I went, oh yeah, I'll go on eBay and find it. And it was like, haha, sure, man. Sure enough, found it, $50, got it.
Wow.
So this is the Black Belt Jones newsprint 4-pager given out at the theater at the opening of Black Belt Jones. So anyway, that is a huge, I go to sleep with that on the right time. Another grail is 1979 Rock Comics, which is Land Graphics, which is when Ken Landgraf was starting to self-publish. This predates New York City Outlaws and a few other things that he did, but it's unique in that it was inked by Neil Adams because I think Landgraf was hooked. He was one of the kids at Continuity or something, so he obviously got a solid from Neil on the cover, and some of the inside stuff is also inked by Adams as well. A brief.
Damn.
Newsprint, printed like a tabloid newspaper. Really amazing artifact, just incredible artifact. And I got a second copy of Doberman, which I thought was totally impossible at this point. I got one 3-4 years ago for $6 because nobody knew what these were.
Yeah.
What
at
is
that time. This is Comax Comics, which is Rich Burcham studio, Butch Burcham, and it's one of his many self-published weird superhero trope type deals. This one's the most, I love this one the most because it's a guy who inhales some sort of magic radioactive Doberman poop and then turns into the titular character.
Awesome.
Obviously, Chris Pitzer knows this book very well.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like Doberman or Doberman. How do you pronounce it?
By the way, I don't know if anybody knows this, but he's been making new books and also has a pretty prolific eBay site, mostly art prints. But he did more with another sort of a variation on that theme, another Dober or Dogman or whatever he calls it. So anyway, it's not like he hasn't quite let it go.
Oh wow. Doberman.
Doberman. Exactly. But as far as art goes, what I'm working on right now is this is the first page that's going to get drawn by me anyway for the bunker stuff, and it actually segues into Jerome Cabantan's urinal piss-gore story.
Oh yeah.
So it's the bunker people, including Ladytron, they're sitting around, they're doing bong hits, they're drinking. The dragon character is smoking pot and is getting into Seahawk's face with his long pointy nose and coughing smoke around everywhere, which is irritating him more and more and more until finally he gets stabbed with it and he breaks the nose off, throws it across the table, and it's caught by Ladytron, who then starts picking her teeth with it. And the Fantastic Dragon is like just completely forlorn. He's like, fuck that nose anyway. And then Seahawk stands up and goes like, all right, that a boy, and says, I gotta go piss. And so then we cut to Jerome's urinal, tale of urinal.
And for the story, these guys are kind of like a framing device where there are these many short stories that kind of are bookended by these adventures.
Right.
And these are your roughs that you will bring in and ink over and stuff.
Yeah, so I just printed out blue line of it so that I can do the final artwork right now.
Awesome.
And then what else did I have here? So this is the document of one of my conventions. So this was the guest lineup for 1987.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Now, Steve and usually Rick Beach would do every show, but Rick couldn't do that show. But yeah, Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman of this book that this book you might have heard of, right?
Yeah,
because
that was 3.
Yeah, I think 3. Yeah,
and the Econo Lodge on Williston Road.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was yeah, and that's when you could put together a show for $200 to sign up the room, and then give everybody, all the dealers, 15% discount if they paid in advance, and then you take that money and you buy all your printing and your ads and stuff, and then you just waited for the day, and then that was it. There was nothing much to it, $500 tops, make a show, rent the tables, stuff like that. It was just really easy. And then you paid everybody's, gas and lodging if you had to, and they're 3 square, and it was very easy back then to do it.
And for Burlington too, Eastman and Laird are northeastern. I mean, they're up there in Maine, they're up there in Massachusetts, so it's like
Massachusetts,
yeah.
So it wasn't a big drive,
Yeah.
It's like 4 hours.
No biggie. Yeah. And they'd be like, "Oh, sure, we haven't been to Vermont. I'll get to meet Steve, or I'll get to." That was always the catch was like, is one or both of those guys would do the show, and it was easy to get a regional person in because they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I haven't seen Steve. I haven't."
Yeah, and if you want, you could just go right over to Nectar's and see Fish play.
This is way before.
No, they were playing at Nectar's
87?
in '87. Yeah.
87. Oh,
Yeah.
I never liked the band, so I have to tell you, I'm sorry.
I like them way too much.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see.
That's crazy. Bernie Marolt's on there too with the jam.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. It was wild. New page for that Flame Ape book.
Nice.
Oh my God, what's that for?
The story that's I got 4 pages in.
On Bubbles?
No, the other one, not Bubbles, but jeez, man, I got senior moments galore here. But,
it looks great, dude.
So this is continuing that story. And some designs for Grand Disaster.
Oh wow! Is that the diner that the Max is at, or whatever?
The diner from Savage Dragon, the Rock City Diner. So some of the characters in there are running the
amazing, man.
They're running. Thanks. They're running the cafeteria, right? And
oh yeah.
Sick. You guys make me want to draw.
Should.
I should.
You got those Spideys you can do, man.
Kinda.
Oh, here we go.
You got a little Eric Larson in there.
Oh, you mean Greg's art's got a larceny feel?
In that other panel that he was just showing, those characters from the diner that he was showing. I feel like.
Oh, sweet
shit, dude.
So this is Doc Terror. This is Bob Benton, the Black Terror. He's the superhero from the Golden Age who sets up the bunker. But he appeared in 2 Savage Dragons, so therefore he's an Image character.
Nice.
But he's an old guy. He's like old guard superhero, but he's all. And I wanted to make him look real Jack Kirby. And,
did you kind of update his outfit a bit there, or?
Yeah, I basically gave him a lab coat, but it's all kind of Kirby armored out, and of course there's pouches because it's
Image.
Love it.
Let's see. Oh, this is This is the cover for Disaster. Where it's
nice.
That's Chris Anderson's art.
Chris Anderson,
yeah. Yeah, he's killing it.
That's a page from Disaster.
Sweet, man. Awesome.
Let's see.
Great work, Greg. Man, this book is really coming together to be something special too.
Look at that. Yeah.
It's a real privilege to be working with everybody, and the only thing I can say is it's going to be the biggest bootleg I think that's happened so far, right? I'm pretty sure.
The biggest bootleg comic of all time.
That's the last thing I have to share. This is maybe a cover for Flame Ape, or
for what?
For the Flame Ape character for that Flame Ape book.
Oh, that's awesome. What book is that?
It's called Flame Ape. The thing I shared last week, which was like a 4-pager black and white.
Flame Ape.
Yeah.
He's got rocket feet.
Yeah.
Rocket back
feet.
Wow.
Sick, dude.
Yeah, it's super cool. What got the back of your feet? Rocket.
It's like an ape that's crossed between a human with a bunch of cyborg stuff, and if you like stuff like the only thing like Tetsuo the Iron Man.
Oh yeah,
like that's kind of where I'm at with this thing.
Yep.
So it's basically an ape man with like strange cybernetic eruptions in his body, fighting other cyborgs and ripping their heads off, and eventually he's got a girlfriend, and then he becomes God. It's a whole kind of
nice. Just the normal character arc.
Boy gets mutated. Boy gets girl. Boy loses girl. Girl. Boy becomes God.
Classic. Yeah, that classic.
That's what I got.
Awesome, Greg. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
My jam's down like Skylab, so I gotta rig it. Don't mind me, everyone.
So there's just Ben and Brouwers left who haven't shared anything, and Mike, if you want to share something. But Brouwers, have you been working on anything that you want to show off this week, or did you bring anything in, man?
Anything really new. I'm just working on another page for Grand Design right now. It's pretty bare bones, blue line right now.
You getting into the now some people weren't here last week to see your cover. Do you have that handy?
I do have. Well, I'm trying to put the.
Yo, Peter, check this shit.
I know. I saw.
You saw him, yeah.
It's insane.
Oh, you watched last week's video, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just such a great piece of art. Like,
awesome.
Can't wait, dude. I'm really excited to see your interiors because as of now, I haven't really seen, your interiors. So I'm psyched. You got the War Party stuff that I can't wait to read.
Yeah.
And I just can't wait to read your shit.
Appreciate that, bud.
Brouwers, apparently last night we had a Ween flavored dance party in the Zoom.
Yeah, you did.
I don't remember that really.
I don't think you would have remembered it, Eli.
I'm sure it was fun. Craig told me
I had a good time.
He was like, I haven't laughed so hard as I have when I watched you in Brouwers, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not sure what that means.
We had a good time.
You were talking to me like you had talked to me, and I was like, nah. I didn't talk.
Fun times are fun times, man. I love them.
Yeah, man, I love it too, Eli. Like I said last week too, though, man, you get that dance party going. It's fucking good time. Yes, I do have something to show you. You might get a kick out of it, man.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
I got it handy.
Brouwers has a killer man cave going on there for sure.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I'm so jealous of everybody's like desk fucking comic nerd zones, and I'm like, I got this like makeshift piece of shit that my laptop's on. I got to change my life like tomorrow.
Well, your stuff too, like in a closet too. You got to like open your closet and then inside is
closet not being properly represented. It's bullshit. Soon enough, though, life shall change for the better.
Oh, of course. You're gonna get signed to a major label.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, everybody starts off drawing comics on their mom's cutting board at the dining room table. You know?
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Okay, Brouwers, what is all that?
Let's see what we got here. We got this a stack of original art here.
Oh, just under my desk, tossed a stack of original Jaime Hernandez pages that I just chucked under here.
A lot of Archie pages.
Oh, sick. By which artist?
I got some Dan DeCarlo. I got some Stan Goldberg.
Those are originals?
These
are all originals.
And those are dailies, right?
Yeah, they're dailies. I got other strips and stuff too, but I got into Archie. I don't know. I was obsessed with it. Let's see what else we got here.
I got my trash pile over here.
2 pictures of Dagwood.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Not every comic has its own sandwich, so.
What? It's got its own sandwich?
Yeah, called the Dagwood.
I want one.
Isn't that a sandwich?
Yeah. Well, it was his sandwich, but yeah.
It's just sad sack.
Yeah, see that?
Wow.
Brouwers. That was my favorite comic when I was like in grade school. Like that was I like that book. I used to love that book. It was my favorite Harvey, and it was my favorite like comic.
Was that a Sunday strip too, or like a newspaper strip?
Yeah, it was just strictly a.
Here's a
strictly
cool,
a hard.
Strictly
a Josie and the Pussycat. It's got
nice.
the Kool-Aid.
Okay.
Oh wow, corporate sponsorship, huh?
Yeah.
Is there a paste up over the jug? Was that screen tone or what was that?
Say that again?
Is there a screen over the Kool-Aid or something?
This Kool-Aid, man, I could pick off if I wanted to.
It was added in there.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
No, don't
Same
do
with
it.
this, yeah.
Wow. That deal was made after the art.
By the
was
way,
made.
Josie and the Pussycats had way hotter chicks. Just saying.
I'll show you a couple more, but this is my crown jewel. It gets ripped because but it's a Todd McFarlane G.I. Joe page.
Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
Whoa. Oh, wow. Who's doing the inks?
Yeah, I love it.
Who's on the inks?
He ain't. No, I don't know who's on the inks on it. He didn't ink
That looks
himself
like
on
an old timer on the inks.
Yeah.
Dude, I met him. He's from Calgary here, so I met him when I was a little kid. And my dad bought that from him. He was a nice guy. I hung out for like 20 minutes. He didn't let me go anywhere. Oh, you'd like this.
There you go. I spotted that from a mile away. Eastman.
But I'll get some more Calgary shine before I go here. But here's two Calgary guys that are really super nice guys. But here's a Riley Rosmo piece.
Wow.
It's got a Mobius vibe to it, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. What book is that from?
Dude, I wish I knew, but I do follow his stuff quite close, but I wish I knew.
That's like a mech for you there, Peter. That's like a big. Can you share that again, Brouwers?
It also reminds me a lot of like role-playing game rule book art. You know,
Yeah.
Like where you'd have these like nice generic kind of scenes to get
highlight the character.
Yeah, the rules pages. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not from like Proof. It's not from Deathbed. It's not from Bedlam. It's not from like the stuff I know of his. So I don't know where it's from actually. It might be from a book called Drum Heller that he did.
Yeah.
But, here's another awesome Calgary guy, man. This is a guy who gave me put the first comic script in my hand as a little kid. Like he's like took the time. But this is Kerry Nord's page from Ultimate. What's it called? Oh, not the I forget what it's Ultimate.
It might actually just be the book Ultimates.
It might be.
Oh yeah.
I think I remember this book. Yeah.
That's Terry Moore, you said?
Terry Moore.
Yeah. He did Conan for a while. Here's a Conan print. That's
fucking legendary.
Yeah, that's great.
Jesus.
Thank you. Yeah, he
He's
gave me
got a real classic look.
Daredevil. He gave me a Daredevil script back in the day, and so the first time I actually what a comic script looked like. He took the time with me a lot, and gave me his phone number. So
nice, dude.
But yeah, that's I got a stack. We could go here for hours, but we'll move on.
Save it for next week, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brouwers, dude. Your collection continues. Yeah, dude, it continues to surprise, man.
Crazy.
Right on.
We are winding down. We've definitely been going for about 2 hours now. But Ben, did you want to share anything, dude?
Yeah, sure. You know, it's funny. Manus, Brouwers mentioned Kerry Nord to me earlier this week, and I also said, Terry Moore?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, man. I've been first I want to give shouts to Greg for sending me like Rayzone 3D article process stuff within maybe 10 minutes of bringing it up.
Yeah.
So I was fucking around today with a little bit of that effect. That's my it's called Anaglyph 3D.
That's right.
Red and blue 3D. Google, you know.
Anaglyph.
I think you're talking about Maya or whatever. When it's not a good search term. So I was fucking with some 3D for this comic I've been cranking out with here's pages.
So yeah, there you go.
These two right there are the red and blue 3D, and then there's a little bit of selective color like the glasses or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So I've been working on that comic for the last week, and that's my 4th finished page.
It looks nice.
That's a pace that I'm really happy with. I complain about pace and time and putting the proper amount of time into doing pages, but I just like that pace of work doesn't hold my attention or energy as much as just doing it faster and focusing on different stuff. So I've been focusing on like different hand lettering approaches in Procreate. I started doing typesetting in Photoshop and then tracing it in Procreate, and it just like getting to save myself the Ames Guide headache or whatever.
Yeah.
It was just incredibly useful, and now I feel like I'm finally able to, like, I finally have the desire to work on letter forms and really like crack the stroking and the in and out and all that. And I never had patience for that before. So anyway, I got my, I don't know what's in here. It's just a box labeled treasures. And it's stupid because it's not going to, after Brouwers, there's no way. Let's do it.
Show your Castle Grayskull.
There's my Castle Grayskull.
Self-made, made by yourself.
Really?
No. I'll get next time. I'll show you my other D&D terrain. Yeah, no, there's handmade D&D terrain.
Okay.
I love D&D terrain, bro.
Yeah, that's what that white square. I put it away backwards. That's what the white square is next to Grayskull.
Nice.
Yeah, man. It was funny because like, when Chris was on, Chris Pitzer was on, he was like talking about all these artifacts, and I would just like look to my left and right, and I had to sit on my hands to not flip around my camera to show my Steranko Talon. All that shit.
You saw a similar collection or like a...
Well, I wouldn't. Not similar collection.
Not similar.
Oh, man, I've got that too.
What'd you drop?
What's in treasures? Some green paper.
Nice, dude.
This is a subscription board from when I was a boy from '97. Okay.
For Marvel?
Yeah. This has postcards. I'm sure there's nothing in here. Got some art by my boy. Nothing you'd want to see. There's my Sim Eastman print.
Oh, whoa. Dave Sim.
Yeah, that's Matisse, the fifth turtle.
Ah, wow. Where'd you get that?
This was a Kickstarter award for I don't remember what.
Yeah. You look kind of like Cerberus. That he is Cerberus, right?
That's his.
Yeah. So so that character's done by his creator. Then Eastman did all the surrounding shit. It says 2012. I must have given him money for that print. I don't know. I think it was that print, some head sketches.
I saw that Dave Sims got a new Kickstarter for a reissue of Cerebus 1 or something.
Yeah,
remastered. Doing different ones,
yeah.
It's $10, I think.
Yeah, I had like an older reprint that they did.
Yeah, the remastered stuff. There's a lot of that hunt nib shit that you can see better. This is Klaus.
Wait, show that again.
This is Klaus
Johnson.
Oh, Klaus Janson. Yeah. I thought you said Klaus. I was like, wait a second.
I didn't say Klaus. Yeah. This is so Klaus Janson like mentored me through college.
Wow, dude. I didn't know that.
That was really cool. I met him as an intern in the hallways, and I was reading his book on penciling and then the one on inking, and I was just like hungry and hot, and I was like, hey man, I'm reading your book, it's fucking awesome. And he was like, well, come on by and I'll show you some stuff. And I did that for a few years.
Wow, dude.
Klaus Janson inked a lot of the junior stuff.
Yeah.
And Watchmen and...
Oh man, Captain America versus Punisher.
Right.
It's one of the sickest ink jobs like ever.
Yeah.
Klaus Janson is so good, man.
He's fucking destructive.
So here's the Alex Robinson art.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
Is that a Dave Sim on the letter? On the
Alex Robinson of Cerebus, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Do not bend. Here's correspondence from Sim. I mean, these are sad treasures. I really shouldn't show any of this stuff. It's not that exciting. This is cool. This is a drawing. This is a portrait of Lincoln by my father from January '63.
Wow.
That's kind of cool. He doesn't draw.
That's a good thing to have. Fathers.
This is a sad collection of treasures.
No, it's interesting just to see like what you would have in a box labeled treasures, you know?
Oh wow. Oh that's wow.
Oh wow.
Is that
a mouse sketch?
I've heard of that. That's a portfolio, right?
It's like an oversized hardcover.
Oh, it's hardcover.
Where did you meet him to get that signed?
I've met him a few times. That was at a MoCA, but one of my best friends from AZA from 20 years ago is an Apple genius, or was an Apple genius, and Apple geniused his way into becoming like best friends with Spiegelman.
Wow.
And he's not a comics guy at all. He's just they're just yids together or whatever.
I figured most Brooklyn Jews knew each other, and that's how you met him at the Brooklyn Jew Convention.
1-year-old cousin did this.
Jerry.
There you go.
Damn, Eli wants that.
I got a Steranko.
I bought a Jerry Garcia print off this dude at a Comic-Con one time, and I got Bob Camp to draw Ren and Stimpy dancing to like Jerry on it.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, the Chandler, yeah.
Oh,
no, is
yeah,
that Chandler?
stuck together. Yeah, this is from when I put tape on everything. So this is all. That's my Chandler. I got another one over there, like an idiot.
Oh, you do?
I do, yeah. And here's Sienkiewicz and.
Oh my gosh, Sienkiewicz sketch.
Gross.
Bobby Orr. Okay,
it.
so how'd you get that Sienkiewicz sketch? I
love that Sienkiewicz is in your like shitty. You're like, I don't care about this.
Well, it's a print. It's not a.
Oh, okay.
Sketch.
If this would be the first thing I'd be showing you.
Yeah.
But I feel like a fool for showing you all this Chazarai. And
No, it's great Chazarai.
It's great.
Mostly, I wanted to just like kind of say that this period of isolation has been an important period of creative work and growth for me, and
you're very productive. I mean, your output speaks for itself. You have 3 or 4 books going on. It hasn't
always been that way, though, Eli. And it's not always going to be that way. But I like to bounce from project to project every day. I like to do a different. I have like 4, 5, 6 different things going right now, and I did so much work for Image Grand Design, but there's still so much more to do.
It's amazing what you've done. I did 2 pages, and I'm just seeing Yeah, it's insane.
Well, I mean, I was thoroughly impressed with the wizard thing you put together. So it's like this image joint is going to be crazy.
Well, yeah, and I have a whole team of people working with me, so it's going to be even better because I'm working with these amazing people.
And like each person is sicker than the last.
It's that's the mandate.
It's not a bland anthology. It's like fucking.
Oh my god! Yeah.
The other thing that's been good is to see the kind of interoperability of people's work. Like some people, like Mike and I have some of the people coloring other people's stuff, and then you get a whole new thing, right? Because the artwork is this one person's.
Yeah.
Now here's this entirely different person to their artwork now coloring.
Yeah, Ben actually.
Now it becomes a third thing. It's very interesting.
Yeah, right. Ben actually inked pencils. That's the first time I've ever had anyone ink me. Yeah. And so I sent Ben some pencils, and he inked and colored up this Max page. Right. It was really cool because it really was like something new and different that I hadn't.
Yeah, it made the thing you drew turn into something you didn't imagine it to.
Yeah, there it is.
That looks great.
And it's really, so I'm coloring a bunch of people, and I'm getting inked by a bunch of people.
Right.
See, that's awesome.
And I think that me and Brouwers, on this project alone, Brouwers and I are working in 4 different combinations.
Right.
I'm coloring a piece by Brouwers. I laid out 2 pages for him. He's inking 2 for me. Is there something else, Dave? That's at least 3. That's enough.
Yeah.
So there might be another one in there. We're working in tandem though. It's awesome, man. So I can't wait.
And I've got Ro Higishi inking my Wildcats pages, and it's I don't think I've ever been inked.
She has really great work too. Solid lines, the anime lines, style.
It's a really appealing fit for. I'm sure anyone would say that, but I don't think my work's ever looked that good. And it's really like an interesting collaborative experience. So anyway, that's
been
what
amazing.
about all that. Thank you.
Dude, thanks, Ben. Thanks, everyone who shared, man. This has been an amazing, this has been 2.5 hours. This is a major motion picture. It's infinity hair length, you know?
Yeah, it's
Well,
infinity.
it's a Friday night. This is what we would have normally been doing.
Yeah. Did you want to share anything, Mike? Did you find anything or?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I got I have a Jake Schultes original.
Oh, yes.
Oh, shit.
So, like,
he's how old now?
Working at home.
Good drawing.
Yeah.
Is that Wally?
He's picked up like a couple of like I don't know, like tutorials with like one of these programs he's using staying at home, and he was running out just like doing all kinds of like
wow, dude,
little stuff, and he was just like, Daddy, check this out, and I was like,
some talent,
and like, have fun, stick with it. He like busted out this art set. What else do I have on my desk?
I will say that when he visited here, it was his idea to build Mandalorian armor out of cardboard. And we did build a Mandalorian helmet and a fully working, not fully working lightsaber, but like an awesome lightsaber wrapped in like chroma key tape and like.
Yeah, you made a real lightsaber.
That actually, so the helmet's good.
Yeah, he told me that he broke it.
Abby actually wears it more often now than he does.
The helmet?
Yeah, it's hilarious because it's just like this poof of hair out the bottom. And I'm just like, so that's what a Mandalorian with a fro would look like. That's pretty fucking hilarious.
Pretty nice. That's awesome. I mean, the kid is creative.
It was awesome.
Gotta be proud.
Yeah, keep pushing.
One day he might have you on a podcast like I did my own father today.
I look forward to that day where I can just like taunt him and embarrass him with stuff and just have a good time messing with him.
I thought, I wasn't embarrassed at all.
Dad
actually
didn't do that at all, and I was like, golden opportunity right now just to mess with you. And your dad is so respectful.
We've definitely had fun. We've definitely seen fish together and stuff. Oh yeah, dude. They went to New York Comic Con and sent me photos with Mahfood and Matt Wagner, and it was like, yes.
Yeah.
Jake chose that too, and he didn't realize that there was
like, this looks cool, and I was like, all right, yeah, we'll do it. We'll support an artist. And I like started, after I paid for it, I started to flip through it, and I was like, yeah, Daddy's gonna hold on to this one until
this features full frontal nudity.
Yeah, no.
I feel like perhaps
like any second grader, it's just like, yeah, let's scoop this up, and I was like,
cool,
looking at it.
Definitely trying to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was like I got like, you guys were all talking about Mobius, and I just felt like just messing around. Just
nice. Happy birthday, Mobius.
Yeah.
The Mobius birthday special.
I don't know, man. I'm just like drawing lines, making weird shapes, like Mobius.
Tight.
Yeah.
In-house.
The Mobius style is so often epitomized by these like little lines in fields of color, and it's just those like little teeny dots or lines or squiggles that somehow turn the sea of yellow into like a desert wasteland or like, you know, a moon or something.
It's like all his landscapes were just like so many just like desert to like just deserts, and it's just like it's kind of cool and calming. I kind of want to like
apparently he spent some time in like Mexico when he was a youth or something like that. He left France and spent time in like New Mexico or actual Mexico or something, and was amazed. He loved that because it was completely different from France, I guess, that he knew, and he was like all of a sudden in this desert.
It's like big sky country, man. It's just like it's all like blues and yellow hues and everything. It's just wild.
Hues. Word, guys.
Real quick. This book is Mobius.
Oh, the 40 Days in the Desert, dude.
Yeah.
Is that an English version? I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, Stuart Ing had it.
Oh, beautiful, dude.
This is like a sketch collection or something?
Yeah, it's kind of
cool.
I think it literally is he spent 40 days in the desert and drew look at those. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, that's the publication, 40 Days in the Desert, Mobius? Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, Eli. I think he actually did do that. Like, that was like a kind of an experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, like that right there with like the little line details and stuff. That's just so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much.
Did you get that off his website? Mobius.fr or whatever?
I got it from Stuart Ing, I think at WonderCon last year.
Awesome.
Stuart Ing Books, awesome website, awesome like European books, and it's down
his French website. You can still buy books and prints and stuff off of. Yeah.
Nice.
From his own website, you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's like Mobius.fr or something.
Cool.
Hit me up.
I had to show this guy. I found this on the street before pre-COVID. Like sometimes I kind of did, and it's all in French, but this is just amazing, and it's only got a little bit of like color work in the beginning.
Oh man, that's the classic one.
But I don't even know what this book is. It's published by Casterman, which is a pretty big publisher, and it says its number. It doesn't have a number. It's just Mobius Entretiens avec Numa Sadoul. No idea, but it's tons of. I've
never seen that one.
I know. I couldn't believe what it was, and it's all in French, and it definitely has like. I have no idea what they're talking about because the art is just all over the place of examples of his, but it's mostly like line work. But yeah, there's just like there's no end to like Mobius's strange hardcover publications of like incredible drawings and a little bit of interview stuff with him.
Well, it's just like the influence he's had on people.
Yeah, like
it's like limitless. Yeah,
like it's just so cool.
Yeah, definitely one of the like icons of our time for sure.
They recently had a big gallery show of Mobius in Germany or something like that, and you could write away to get this book off them. It's like a big old thick.
Get out of here, Eli.
And it's like
your Mobius is bigger than our Mobius is.
That's what this whole thing is, dude.
This is like
you guys are Mobius size.
Hey guys, I got this big tome of Mobius stuff right.
Let me show you how big my Mobius dick is.
Yeah,
it never ends.
Put it away, jeez, man.
Dude, I don't have a Mobius dick.
This is one of my favorite strips of his.
Yeah.
Because there's this. Oh, it didn't even finish the panel, but it's got.
Guys, I'm gonna dip out.
All right, Ben. I think we should all dip out, man. It's getting pretty late. It's been about 2.5 hours. So. Mobius birthday. Ben, thank you so much. Thank everyone for coming out and being a part of Can I Thwipp It, being and listening, and it's just been a pleasure to have everyone here, man.
Thank you.
It's really good to be here with us. It's been awesome.
Happy birthday, Mobius. Keep on creating, keep on doing it out there, y'all.
Yeah, guys, good shit. It's nice to meet every one of y'all that I've never met before.
Good to meet you guys.
Now, we do want to end it like we do many of our episodes. Manus has a brand new track out. Feel free to bounce if you're interested, but if you want to check out the final track, we're going to end the cast with the new song by Manus, Sip No Wine.
Especially if you're not drinking wine, we'll get a beer.
All right, I think I didn't share. Oh, I shared, right? All right, so Sip No Wine, here it is. Thanks, everyone, for coming. This is the new track by Manus.
Figure that shit no right. Nigga don't need no right.